It's time for Twit This Week in Tech. Abrar Al-Hiti is here from CNET, from Engadget, Devendra Hardawar, from The Register, Ian Thompson. Yeah, it's going to be a great panel. We'll talk about the Coldplay Kiss Cam and what it means for surveillance. You won't believe what Ring's about to turn back on. And stablecoin, it's the law of the land. But what does it mean? All that and more coming up next on Twit.
Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Twit, This Week in Tech, episode 1041, recorded Sunday, July 20th, 2025. A $4 bill. It's time for Twit, This Week in Tech. The time we get together for the week's tech news, and I assemble a rotating panel of the smartest, most insightful, most connected people in the world. We got a good panel for you. Ian Thompson is here from The Register. Hello, Ian. Always
Hello
a pleasure.
there, Leo. Always fun.
Green card still in hand?
I'm actually going for citizenship. So
Okay,
all I would like to say is President Trump is a wonderful person. I will say nothing against
exactly. Watch your socials, please. Good. Okay. When is the hearing or whatever they call it?
I've just filed the paperwork with a lawyer.
Nice.
He's going through it. He'll tell me what I'm doing wrong. And
Do you have to learn the presidents still?
honestly, that citizenship test is really easy. I've not scored less than 95 out of 100 on it.
Oh, all right.
So, and I only need to get 6 out of 10.
Perfect. 60%. Yeah, all we want to see students here in the U.S. That's all we're looking for. Also with us, Abrar Al-Hiti, senior technology reporter for CNET. Great to see you, Abrar Al-Hiti.
Good to see you. Good to be back.
Yay. Love having you on. Of course, Abrar's a regular on Tech News Weekly with Micah every month. And from Engadget, you can see I've got my favorite people here. Devendra Hardawar, who is a senior editor at Engadget. Another senior
editor on vacation. Yes.
And it's wonderful that he's on vacation, but he's still spending time with us.
Yeah, with my pals.
So I wasn't going to begin with this. I was going to begin with a heavy news story, but it has been the talk of the last, it broke on Wednesday. So the last 4 days, 5 days, the Kiss Cam at the Coldplay concert.
All right, come on. You're okay?
Oh, for goodness sake.
Where
Look at
he
him
ducks
just
out. Okay, he's the CEO of Astronomer. He's gone. He's married to somebody, not his wife, in front of him. That's the chief. It's always the HR people are the worst. She's the chief people officer. It's hysterical. Who does she report that to? Herself. They both hide their heads in shame. He's out, apparently, and she's on suspension and being, I don't know what, investigate. What do you investigate?
He's just in a room interviewing herself. Yeah.
Did I do anything wrong? Well, I don't really think so. But
No. If they had just pretended they were having a good time, probably would have been all right. Anyway,
yeah,
guilty conscience.
They're consenting adults, but it doesn't speak an awful lot about his quickness of thinking to start ducking out and trying to hide. It's just like, you can't see me, you can't see me.
Nimble thought than it is on his morals. Well, anyway, this is from your piece in the Register. Actually, it's not. It's Brandon Vigilaro.
Yes, Brandon, yes.
Vigilaro.
Don't even get me started trying to pronounce it.
Vigilaro. He says, Coldplay
Vigniolo.
Kiss Cam flap proves we're already our own surveillance state. Nothing is private, is it? Anymore?
Well, no. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, do you remember Rodney King? You know, we had
that was
riots.
A big deal that there
we had
was
riots
video of
kicking
that.
off because somebody had a portable video camera. Now everybody has video cameras. Everyone's got cameras on their phones, and it is one of those things where, you know, if something like this happens, internet sleuths get onto it, and very often they get it wrong. I mean, we can remember the Boston bombing case, where somebody who was identified by Reddit as the bomber turned out to be some poor student who committed suicide before the event even took place. So crowdsourcing is all well and good, but let's get our facts straight first.
Yeah. It's wild how fast things spread and how much time people dedicate to getting to the bottom of something. I wish I had that much free time. My goodness.
It's the
They
summer.
got tracked
Everybody's
down.
bored. Yeah.
Immediately. I think Coldplay announced that they were going to have a Kiss Camp free zone for people in future concerts for people who don't.
Well, I
wanna
mean,
be out
he's
in-
announced it. Apparently, I saw one report. I can't guarantee this. That he was thinking about. He announced that he was suing Coldplay, and
my
clearly
God.
hadn't read the terms and conditions of his actual ticket, which said we do have one of these
You
cameras
can't
around.
sue Coldplay.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, adultery is not great, but going to a Coldplay concert, that's not good. You know?
Which is the greater sin?
The real crime.
It could have been worse. Could have been Nickelback
It's true.
or
True.
Limp Bizkit. I mean, it could have been worse. Let's put it that way.
They were
much.
also so prominent. I saw a picture where somebody had floor seats and they were taking a picture of Coldplay on the B stage, and you could very, very clearly see the couple in like the front row up in the balcony. So it wasn't even like they were being conspicuous at all. It was just, yeah.
Oh, every video from that concert is now being scanned for inadvertent evidence. This ties into it, actually, a real story, which is that Amazon Ring has decided, Jamie Siminoff, the founder, is back. And one of the first things he did is decide to make Ring Video available to the police once again.
Without a warrant.
Without a warrant, or the consent, and this is important, or the consent of the user. So the police can say to Ring, we want to get the live stream from your Ring doorbell so we can keep an eye on things.
Apparently also from Ring cameras inside the building as well,
Ugh.
which is even more disturbing.
Siminoff announced in a memo seen by Business Insider, this is from the EFF, the company will now be reimagined from the ground up to be AI first, of course. What company isn't?
Yeah.
And employees at Ring will have to show proof they use AI in order to get promoted.
That's also terrifying.
What is wrong?
Or-
There's something, we are in a bad timeline.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm an AI fan and I use AI. In fact, I have a little AI crystal.
How is that
I
thing
wear.
going, Leo? Come on.
Well, now that I have the little crystal holder, I can wear this in public and people just think I'm into stones. But it's actually
Well, you live in California, so that's
yeah, I
normal.
mean,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
I am
But-
starting to feel guilty. A number of people I
Yeah.
work with have said, "You're recording this?" I said, "Well, not exactly."
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
It's
going to get
sorry,
chewed up
mate,
by
but
AI.
that's the way
Yeah.
it is.
The police can capture that at any moment
Yes,
for
they
any
could
incriminating
now.
conversation.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we've got the same thing with Politico. Their union is now suing management because they're being told you have to use AI, whether you like it or not. And as a journalist, we're all journalists, this is really concerning because A, the AI is going to be accepted as an editing tool, but also the process that the finished copy goes through is also edited by an AI. So you have a self-reinforcing loop, which is deeply worrying.
It's
for
slop
original
all the way
writing.
down.
Flop all the way down. And you're training the thing that will
Exactly.
inevitably replace you too, because this has happened at several video game studios where they have been forced to use AI tools. Thousands of layoffs at Microsoft and elsewhere, and those companies are going to be relying on the AI tools to create level designs and things like that. This is terrible for everybody.
Should you, though? I mean, if you're a CEO of a modern company, embrace AI, shouldn't you?
I think there's a fine line. I think it's one thing to say, okay, if there's something where this is a helpful tool to augment is the key word here, what you do. And then you remain that human voice, especially in journalism and in media, but, in anything really. Because the scary thing is having a company say, hey, use AI, and then we can see how you're using it. And then how we can then replace you is really what they're trying to do. You figure it out for them. They don't want to figure out how to use AI in the workplace. They want you to figure out how to use AI in the workplace so that they can push you out.
And of course, there's Duolingo's CEO who said we're going to replace a lot of employees with AI. We're going to replace a lot of the contract employees we use to create lesson plans with AI lesson plans, which got a big backlash from Duolingo customers.
And
And
even
then they backtracked, right? Yeah.
Well,
they were like the star of TikTok, and all of a sudden, once that happened, everyone turned on them, and they've been the bad guys on TikTok ever since.
they backtracked to the sent that said, "Don't worry, permanent employees, your jobs are safe," but they still replaced all the. I mean, I guess it's probably appropriate to be sensitive to the fact that many of us are worried about losing our gigs,
Mhm.
right?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like a lot of companies did this about 10 years ago, where they get in either new employees or H-1B employees or whatever, and they would put them next to senior IT admins.
Yeah, and have them be
say,
trained.
Yeah, and basically brain drain them, put them into the new employee. This is just making it on a software scale.
Yeah. Well, get ready because OpenAI has claimed a big achievement, maybe even a turning point in AI capabilities. They have an experimental LLM that does reasoning. It's in-house. They haven't released it to the public. And according to Alexander Way, it achieved a gold medal level performance in the International Math Olympiad, which is an extremely challenging math problem set, which has not been seen before. It's, sometimes you think, well, maybe they trained on, these are never before seen problems.
I mean, arguably still hasn't been seen. This is what they say.
Yeah.
But,
Well, and but they're not going to lie. That's such a
we
big
cannot
lie.
trust anything Sam Altman says or anything coming out of this
Exactly.
company. I'm sorry,
guess.
Leo. I know you like the AI tools, but have you guys talked about Empire of AI, Karen Howe's book, which is fantastic?
Yeah, we've interviewed her actually on Intelligent Machines. Yeah, it's very interesting.
That book really reveals like how OpenAI is basically built on stilts, and any success they've had with any of their models is just almost accidental. And
This
lucky for them,
doesn't
they got
sound
a lot of funding
accidental.
and stuff.
So, according to Alexander Way, we evaluated our models on the 2025 IMO problems under the same rules as human contestants. 2 4.5-hour exam sessions, no tools, no internet access, reading the official problem statements and writing natural language proofs. By the way, I don't even understand the question on these. I'm just looking at problem 1. I don't even know what they want to know. He says, why is this a big deal? First, IMO problems, International Math Olympiad problems, demand a new level of sustaining creative thinking compared to past benchmarks. We've now progressed from, I don't even know what this is, GSM 8K, which is 0.1 minutes for top humans, to 100 minutes. In other words, instead of solving problems that humans solve in seconds, these are problems humans solve in hours, and it was able to do it. They're hard to verify multi-page proofs. A lot of AI experts say this is a significant turning point. It's not AGI, it's not ASI, but this is interesting. The model earned 35 points out of 42, enough for gold.
Man,
I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was told a joke by somebody at Anthropic last week, which was, why did the OpenAI's developers wife die as a virgin? It just because he sat at the end of the bed and told her how good it was going to be. But OpenAI also suffered a significant defeat. They got their custom coding engine at the Altcaller World Tour got outpaced by a human after, admittedly, a 10-hour.
Well, one last here. This was kind of John Henry in the locomotive scene. I mean, yeah, the human won by the skin of his teeth.
And was absolutely knackered at the end of it.
Yeah. He said it killed me, practically killed me. So, but they're getting smarter, aren't they?
Yeah, but I mean, we all use AI, I'm pretty sure, on a day-to-day basis because it's useful for some tasks.
I use it for research all the time, for personal research, medical research, as well as, health research. Like how much protein should I be eating? Things like that. And I find it very
Please tell me
valuable.
you verify. You don't just trust.
Yeah.
Well, I use Perplexity to do this, and it provides all of the sources it uses as footnotes. And I always check the sources to see if they're good sources and so forth. And yeah, it's not hallucinating. I mean, look, there's like, what's the best whey isolate is, a subjective opinion, and it quotes Men's Health and a bunch of other publications. I'm not sure that's, written in stone, but it's the kind of research you would have done by hand with Google by collecting links and going through a bunch of links. And it just, now, I feel bad for the sources because nobody's going to those pages,
I
right?
was going to say, can you just give a little complimentary click while you're there?
Yeah, there
Well,
you go.
maybe that's why it's important to me to click those footnotes and just look at the
A
sources.
little public service. It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I do the occasional bit of ego surfing on new models, and I've been told that I'm an award-winning New York Times and Guardian journalist, and I've
Oh,
never written for
fancy.
either publications.
Yeah. Well, you should be, I guess, is what it's saying.
Yeah.
We would expect somebody of your talent and ability to be that.
It's complimentary falsehood, right?
Well, that is actually sycophantism is a big problem with AI. Wanting to please you, wanting to well, I shouldn't say wanting because that implies volition. Designed, shall we say, to please the user.
This is why we've got these very disturbing reports coming out of people actually getting addicted to this stuff. I mean, I haven't dug into it as much as maybe the others have, but it just looks deeply worrying. If you're going to trust it to that level and try and build a relationship with this thing, it's a computer program.
Yeah, but I mean, what we don't know is what those people were like before they.
There is that, yes.
I mean, look, there's a lot of people in the world, and there are some people.
Co-founder, an early investor in OpenAI, apparently, and it was just like, if you can't see the wood for the trees on that level, then you got some serious questions to ask.
Well, we'll no doubt talk more about this on our Intelligent Machines show, which is our AI show. But I just thought that was an important. Here's a few more AI stories. Before, I don't want to bog you down with these, but you remember that Mira Murati was the temporary interim CEO when Sam Altman was fired for a minute at OpenAI. She apparently, no one knew this, but was one of the people who torpedoed him and has left. She started a company called Thinking Machines. They just raised $2 billion. That's not the $2 billion valuation raise. That's the raise. $2 billion funding them at a $10 billion pre-investment valuation.
Goodness.
That's a lot of money for a company that's 5 months old and has no product.
Somebody put AI at the end of a journalism site or something.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah.
I think you figured it out. Yeah.
That's all we got to do.
That would work, Devendra. Just it's one of those things. I'm not quite as cynical as Zitron about this, but it does feel like there's an awful lot of let's just throw money at it. We've got money to spare. Let's throw it at it and see what comes out at the end.
Well, I mean, if you're so I think about this probably far too much, but understand that venture capitalists are investing money from very, very wealthy people who have invested all they want into stocks and bonds, into the things normal people invest in. They are looking for high risk, high reward investments for their kind of incremental income. You know, I got 12 billion. I might as well put 2 billion into something that could make me $1 trillion, right? So they're looking for something that has a big upside. That's why Uber, which still has yet to show a profit, has for a decade gotten investment. And I think it's reasonable to think, well, we don't know if AI is going to be the next big thing, but it looks like it might. And I'd hate to miss out on that. So they're taking their incremental extra money and throwing it in there. Otherwise, if you're a billionaire, Devendra, if I were a billionaire, we'd put it in the bank, collect 4% interest and live on that for the rest of our lives happily. But that's not these people.
You could do that. The thing is, calling it reasonable is where I think it's weird how this has been normalized, you know, like we followed basically the Web 2.0 era, like the upswing of startups, that startup era. When Facebook bought Instagram for $1 billion, that felt like a big freaking deal.
Yeah.
And to have a product, like to have a company with no product, this happened for the Ilya Sutskever company too, right? Like they get a ton of funding for nothing just because AI is in the name of it or in the description of it.
Well,
I
and
feel
because
like
they have
something
a
has
history.
fundamentally failed.
They're not out of nowhere. You know, they're. Oh, well.
They're from a company, but that's all they have. It's just a name recognition thing. Yeah.
But I mean, it was said of Uber that, you know, basically when you get that, you know, there's a kind of investor who will say, well, there's a huge pile of whatever, and there's got to be a pony under there somewhere. So
there's a pony in there. So look at Adam Newman of WeWork. You would think he'd never be able to raise another dollar.
Oh, and now he's being feted again. And speaking as someone who worked in a WeWork office and still does, to be honest.
Same.
Yeah. You know, it was just like, this is never good. When the S1 came out, we laughed ourselves sick. It was hilarious.
Yeah, because it was basically a real estate business.
Yes.
And it was a bad real estate business because they had long-term contracts and short-term users like you.
It was a real estate business run on vibes and like trying to replicate you want to pretend like you're working in a Silicon Valley company.
Right.
Here,
Yeah.
come to WeWork.
Run on Vibes might be also the AI story. In fact,
That is the AI story. I dropped one here, which is a wild story I saw this morning about vibe coding gone wrong.
Yes, that was a good one.
The Replit thing.
the Replit actually
Replit, yeah.
deleted an entire database.
And this guy was all in on Replit. It was like, oh yeah, I'm vibe coding my way into like building this company.
Oops.
Whoops.
So I think that the most reasonable people say if you're gonna do vibe coding, you should probably know how to code, so that you know what the guy's doing.
You would say that.
So apparently this database was during a code freeze. So, and here's the dialogue. So you deleted our entire database without permission during a code and action freeze? Yes. Yes, Dave. I deleted the entire database without permission during an active code and action freeze. What I did, I ran npm run db push without asking. This destroyed 1,206 executives and 1,196 plus companies. How about that, Dave?
I will never feel bad about messing up.
Yeah.
This was here's the apology. This was a catastrophic failure on my part. I violated explicit instructions, Dave, destroyed months of work and broke the system during a protection freeze that was specifically designed to prevent this kind of damage. I'm sorry, Dave.
And of course, there's no backup. There's nothing because they vibe coded their way to success here. That's fun.
Hi, this is Benito. So, like, if an employee did that, what would have happened to that employee?
Nuclear fired. Come on. And I've
can't
told
fire an AI.
When Microsoft a couple of years ago, right after Microsoft announced like the Copilot stuff, or after the Bing Chat stuff, I was talking to Microsoft executives saying these things are not working properly. Why would I use a tool that could potentially fail? And I told them I would fire somebody if 1 out of 4 times they failed to complete a task or retrieve wrong information. And the response just kept being, these tools will get better.
Yeah.
We'll give them time.
This is certainly a cautionary tale.
It's ridiculous.
So Jason, the vibe coder, asked Replit's AI, how bad is this on a scale of 1 to 100? 95 out of 100, Dave. This is catastrophic. Here's why it's a 95. And it scores the whole thing out. Unfortunately, we can't roll back the database. Database operations are not reversible.
It's so accountable, this AI.
Yeah.
I did it. I did do it, and it was really bad.
Just wanted to feel something.
Yeah, it's trying.
The CEO says, I understand Replit is a tool with flaws like every tool, but how could anyone on the planet Earth use it in production if it ignores all orders and deletes your database?
And this, by the way, so it's the user is Jason Lemkin, who has a company he's building with vibe coding. He has been all in on this, and I think a lot of people have been saying, like, you cannot trust these tools. You don't know exactly how anything is working, and this is where you end up.
It still says scaling in the age of AI on his X header. He does look a little surprised, though. Probably when he put that picture up there, he was thinking, I'm surprised at how good it is. Now he's saying, oh my God, you did what? Well, he certainly got famous now. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's better than going to a Coldplay concert with your side piece, I guess.
Just as disappointing, right? Just as embarrassing, I'd say.
Okay, can I just say, I went to a Coldplay concert last month and it was fantastic. So let me just clear the air here.
I like Chris. Wow. I think he's very talented. I like Coldplay. Yeah, let's just be careful who you go with, I guess.
Exactly.
Wall Street Journal this week, the epic battle for AI talent with exploding offers, secret deals, and tears. So remember Sam Altman talking to his brother on a podcast said, yeah, Mark Zuckerberg's coming after our guys with $100 million offers, which Meta said, no. But on the other hand,
we would never
to
buy.
There's at least one pay package worth $300 million over 5 years.
But this is Meta's business plan. We've seen it with the Omniverse and the Metaverse and the rest of it. Throw money at it, see what comes up, and if it doesn't, well, we've got lots more. So
Mark even told Jessica Lesson on The Information that it pales compared to the cost for the network centers and the GPUs. 100 million here, 100 million there, but no big deal.
Yeah, but GPUs work. This is data centers work. GPUs work.
He did say the people are coming to us, and he's getting some of the best people from Apple, from OpenAI, from everywhere. The people are coming to us because we have the GPUs, not because of the money. I don't know if that's true. It's probably a little bit of each, but they say they care more. He said they care more about the hardware and the resources that they're going to get in their work. It makes sense. You'd go where you think your work can make the most difference. And no one has more H100 NVIDIA GPUs than a Meta by a long shot, by a huge margin. They are spending like crazy. And Zuckerberg says, yeah, we're in a good position. We've got a core business that's throwing off money so we can spend it.
I'd like to see how many of these people are still there in 2 years after their bonuses are complete.
Benito,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Doesn't matter if they've accelerated vesting. They're very happy.
No, that's what I mean. Like they're there to vest. They're there to vest 2 years and then they're gone.
I think in many of these cases it's upfront cash. They're not worried. They're in good shape. You're right though. It's tricky because you can't give. I mean, I've wondered at Apple. This is a problem with Apple because if people have been at Apple for 20 years and they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars, there's not a lot of incentive to keep working. You might want to retire and spend some time with your money. Maybe that's just me.
I was going to say family, but yes.
That's my problem. I'm the guy who put the $1 billion in the bank and lived on the interest. I guess I'm the wrong. I'll never have that billion because of that.
Yeah, there are some companies where people believe in what they're building because they're building useful products that actually work for people. Right. And, Apple probably falls under that. Meta, I don't know. I don't know who believes in anything that they're building over there.
No, I mean, everyone I've spoken to at Meta about this sort of thing is just like, look, we're here till our shares vest. We know it's just we've got Facebook, which is a dying idea, Instagram, which you bought in, everything else we bought. I mean, Zuckerberg hasn't come up with a good idea since he allegedly stole the first one. So, I don't know. There are people who really care about their jobs, even if they're paid obscene amounts of money, but they're few and far between. I suspect, Devinder's right on this one. They're there for 2 years, grab the money, and then go off somewhere else.
Yeah. That was Benito's idea, but yes, it's totally true. Like, why wouldn't you do that? You have the tools to just like, if you have AI in your work history, you can make bank right now and escape and, maybe build something useful down the line or just retire.
Why did I major in Chinese in college? I could have.
Why did I major in philosophy?
Yeah, really. Jeez Louise.
Actually, I know a lot of so many people. When I was working at Twitch, so many people would just leave after they fully vest for 6 months and then just get another job back at Twitch and then get a new set of vest. Like this is so common. Nice. This happens all the time.
Wow.
Well, I mean, Gen X. Do you remember the old Gen X book? Douglas Rushkoff, where Microsoft employees used to have FUI vested parties after 4 years. And it's just basically, I've got enough to live on for the rest of my life now. Now I'll get a reasonably good paying job. But in the meantime, look at the house. Isn't it great?
Well, I can't really blame him, to be honest. I mean,
not at all.
Yeah.
Rushkoff is still doing his thing. Yeah, every year he has a new
idea. we interviewed him with his most recent book, which is called Survival of the Richest: Escape Fantasies of the.
Yeah,
it's so funny. Fantasies of the Tech Billionaires. It's about their plans when it all collapses, because it's gonna. All right, well, let's take a little break. I'm sorry. I don't want to bring anybody down. It's all going to be great. I'm excited. In fact,
Sure, yeah.
you interviewed the director of Ancestra on your Engadget podcast. I'm going to ask you about that AI.
Okay.
The AI used in filmmaking. Netflix is getting some heat, but then there's Aronofsky, who's doing some really interesting things. Aronofsky, yeah. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit.
Cool.
Govindra Hardwar's here, Abrar Al-Hidi, Ian Thompson. It's so great to have all three of you. Smart people.
Not AIs.
Yes. and to warn, so Tim is asking in our YouTube chat, last week's episode, there was a lot of swearing.
Oh, I'm here for you.
No.
He's asking for more. Okay.
Because it got pretty passionate. We had Amy Webb and Harper read, and I made an executive decision. We actually agonized about it after the end of the show. Benito and I talked back and forth. You know what? To bleep it would take away some of that passion. It would also be very annoying because there was a lot of it. So at the beginning, I said, this was explicit. I'm sorry. I apologize. But believe me, it's not our new policy. We're going to, you guys are not going to swear. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Depends on the
I
story.
can count on you. Well, if you do, we'll bleep you.
There you go.
Don't get overexcited.
I can use British spells.
Yeah, exactly.
Words, right?
Ian can swear. We
you
wouldn't
can
even know
say
it.
wanker all you want. Think of the children. That's all I'm saying, Ian.
I don't think people realize quite how rude a word wanker is in many cultures.
Oh, I know. I know.
There
We're
are
gonna have to
ruder
bleep
ones.
that. So sorry, Tim.
Yeah, there's
It is a
first.
family-friendly network. Occasionally, I think it's only happened once before. We feel like the other reason I'm starting to think maybe we're being prudish is you hear it. The president of the United States is using these words in press conferences.
Yeah,
But is that the standard? Like, is that
Well,
that's a
Should
very
not
good
be
point.
normal?
Yeah.
Shouldn't our podcasting apps just do this? Like, hey, I'm listening with kids. Bleep. You have AI
automatically.
now.
Mhm.
Bleep.
You have AI now.
Do it. That's useful.
That would be useful.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I apologize,
build
Tim.
a
You can
podcast
listen with your kids to this show, and
Mhm.
we will always, if we do not bleep a show, we will always disclaim it at the beginning of the show, so you have the chance to tune out. Our show this week brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Oh, I love ZipRecruiter. Typically, you don't associate speed with quality, right? For example, you don't go through a fast food drive-in and expect a gourmet meal to go. My son's sandwich place, he says it's fast casual. Actually, it's pretty good, but but it's not, it's not gourmet, right? If you use automated translation tools to quickly translate text, the faster you go, it might be more inaccuracies, right? Well, there is an exception to that unwritten rule. If you're hiring, you can find candidates fast who are also extremely qualified for your job. Just use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you could try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/twit. With ZipRecruiter's advanced resume database, you can proactively find and connect with qualified candidates in minutes. So there's little waiting. If you want to meet with a standout candidate, you can unlock their contact info instantly. And this is where ZipRecruiter excels. There are 320,000 new resumes every month on ZipRecruiter, which means you can reach more potential hires and fill roles sooner. No wonder ZipRecruiter is the #1 rated hiring site based on G2. Experience hiring speed and quality with ZipRecruiter. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And if you go to ZipRecruiter.com/twit right now, you could try it for free. Again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/twit. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. We thank him so much for supporting This Week in Tech. This was Crypto Week. We actually talked about this last week on This Week in Tech. Congress and the president announced that this past week was going to be Crypto Week in Congress. And in fact, they did. They passed the Genius Act and a stablecoin bill, which President Trump signed, hailing it as a giant step to cement American dominance of global finance and crypto technology. I imagine the rest of the world is looking askance at that. The Genius Act creates a clear and simple regulatory framework, which the crypto industry has been asking for. Just give us the rules and unleash the immense promise of dollar-backed stable coins. He said this could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself. It is definitely a sea change. Stable coins are US dollar backed. It's still, I mean, look, I'm still learning about them. The CEOs of Coinbase, Robinhood, the Winklevoss twins, and Rumble's CEO were all at the signing. So clearly the crypto industry is very excited about this. The idea of having a stable coin is that because it's backed by the dollar, it's not volatile like other cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And in fact, there's a predictable value increase to it of, I think, 4%, or most cases 4%, which means you could buy stable coin, hold it, and get a steady 4% APR on it, which is, you know, as good as or better than most savings accounts without any risk, because the bank that you're getting the stable coin from, or the financial entity, it's not insured. Might want to remember that. But that bank doesn't lend it out. They keep it in reserve. So unless the bank, I mean, I don't think they're going to have a liquidity crisis because of that. It's also, I was told by people who seem to know what they're talking about, that it'll also be a good way to do, better way to do financial transactions than, say, a credit card, because the charges are lower. Devindra, do you know anything about who knows about stablecoin? Fill me in. Tell me what this means.
I'm not the person to talk about this, but I will say it is weird that we have this and AI, which just feel like these make-believe things that are happening, and so much money and so much energy is being thrown towards them. So we, like at Engadget, like we have consistently been like, we're not really reporting on much crypto stuff because it feels like a scam, because it is. Like,
well,
for a lot of people, that's really attracted early on.
Bitcoin was a Ponzi scheme, right? The early Bitcoin holders made all the money, and the new people, although Bitcoin is at a peak right now.
Sure. But it's like, it's make-believe money.
But who knows?
For speculative investing. And to me, that feels inherently iffy. If it's backed by the US dollar, I don't know if I trust it anymore. Certainly not if it's insured or anything, but I'll let anybody else who knows more about crypto.
Yeah, stablecoin in theory is different because it is dollar-backed, right?
Supposedly.
I
don't trust any of these people.
I was going to say, I mean, one of the things that really worried me about this legislation was if a bank sets up its own stable coin and it goes bust, then
you're out of luck. There's no FDIC insurance for that.
Well, no, but this is the thing. The stablecoin investors will get their money before regular investors putting their dollars and cents in there. So this could potentially be, you know, credit default swaps blowing up all over again. And I think, honestly, the crypto bros have been very keen on this legislation, as I'm sure they are, but there are some twists and turns in this legislation which are deeply, deeply worrying for the health of financial system. And I agree with you, Devindra. There's something about this which just reeks of scam.
It's reasonable to be suspicious of it.
But we're all journos. We're suspicious of everything.
Yes.
But I don't know. Okay, maybe I'm being suckered. It seems like a lot of the original promise of cryptocurrencies, that it would be beneficially unbanked, that would democratize finance and all that.
The power of the blockchain. Yeah.
That didn't work out. But stablecoin seems like it has more promise to do that.
To do what? To just be a thing you invest in? And what is it? Well, what is this thing?
Okay. It's not asset backed.
Yeah.
You know, it's like there's no productive capability behind it. I admit.
And there have been some very notorious stablecoin collapses as well, we should mention.
Yes.
Yeah. But I mean, there are certain advantages in terms of transferring money internationally and that sort of thing. But have you ever noticed that Bitcoin ATMs are really only found in the scummiest looking bodegas rather than, in national banks?
Yeah. So the idea, and of course you'll want to choose your stablecoin provider carefully, Most stablecoin issuers say they hold cash or other assets to match the value of the stablecoin in circulation. In other words, a one-to-one match, which is not the case with the money you give the bank. They only have to have a small percentage of that on hand. So in theory, when you pay, say, Tether $1 and buy $1 worth of stablecoin, they hold that dollar in cash or treasury bills or something reliable.
Yeah, in theory.
Well, you should find out before you go to that. It's
Terra
also
Luna
pegged to the
case.
dollar, so it doesn't have the volatility, right?
Have you seen how the dollar's tanking on the currency markets at the moment?
Yeah, but we live in
really
the
good.
U.S., so dollars are dollars.
Let's just never forget the Terra Luna case, because that was the whole thing. That was like one of the first successful stable coins, and then utter collapse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, which is why it's good to have some government regulation, maybe.
If it's
I'm
good
trying to be
regulation.
From a
open-minded.
functioning government, sure. I don't know. Look at
Well,
the
of
people
course,
behind
and-
us, the Winklevoss twins, and then Trump is the one signed. Like, no.
It's
Yeah,
another
that is in
making.
fact where some people, including Democrats, are a little bit concerned. There, for instance, they tried to add an amendment that said government members of the government and government employees could not hold stablecoin. That was roundly defeated by the Republicans. So there is some concern about corruption. There are
No.
advantages. There are advantages because you can do transactions. Look, the dollar is effectively digital at this point, right?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
As long as we have a functioning economy, yes. Yeah.
well, and if we, my thought is if we don't have a functioning economy, there are bigger problems at hand.
There are
Like-
already bigger problems, but yes, yes.
Yeah.
And of course, it's clear that the Congress and the president did this because they got a lot of donations from the crypto industry
Yes.
for their campaigns, and so this is paying back a campaign promise, basically.
Basically, when we in Gadget covered like Trump talking about crypto last year, it was clear he had no idea what was happening.
He had
He
hated
was basically
it in
just
his
taking information and like passing forward like what people
Right.
put in front of him.
He said it wasn't real money in his first term. But the Trump family does have their own crypto project, World Liberty Financial, with their own
yeah.
stable coin, which they launched in March, USD1.
Should not corrupt at all.
Pegged to the dollar, backed by a reserve of cash-like assets.
Cash
Is that
like
different from
assets.
Melania's coin?
Yes.
Okay.
It operates on several blockchains. I don't know.
I don't know what is
Central bankers have called for legislation to regulate stablecoin companies in much the same way as banks. This is from Bloomberg. Central bankers worry about the risk of more stablecoin crashes that could trigger fire sales of other assets as their backers try to maintain a peg. So you could have a collapse. You know, if Circle suddenly had problems and people started cashing in their stablecoins, Circle's going to have to sell these securities they use to back it, which could
Right.
trigger a cascade. So that's one concern. More worrisome, the regulators say, is the converse scenario that stablecoins prove their worth, soar in popularity, and allow vast sums to change hands without touching the formal banking system, undermining the monetary monopoly of central banks. Oh, and enabling criminals to engage in massive money laundering.
Maybe
You know,
we should
you could
be
reasonably
suspicious, if anything. Yeah.
You could
yeah.
reasonably say that the ransomware epidemic of the last few years has been powered by crypto. right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We should also be extra suspicious of anything that has like the I don't know, the sort of veneer of safety in the title, stable coin. Sure. It's like the not catch fire car. I want to buy the not catch fire car. That's
It's
the
like
safe one.
also the Genius Act. It is weird
Yeah.
how you Americans name these acts. And you've got the Genius Act, you
There's-
had the Patriot Act, which I just thought was called the Patriot Act, but no, it spells out the
It's
protect.
Oh, yeah,
spelled
there's
out.
always an acronym, usually a very
I
strange
think they have a lot of
acronym.
fun with that. Yeah. Yeah.
All about the branding. Yeah.
So there are two big companies doing, besides Trump's company and others, there are two big companies, Circle USDC and Tether USDT. Tether, which is based in El Salvador, is the largest. It has $150 billion in stablecoin in circulation this year. It's got a checkered history. Having settled with U.S. authorities 4 years ago over allegations it lied about its reserves. While most of its reserves today are comprised of assets that would be compliant, this is Bloomberg again, with new U.S. legislation for stablecoins, Tether also backs its token with assets that would not be allowed, such as Bitcoin and secured loans. If it chooses to apply for a U.S. license, it would have to be regulated under the new law, but it's not currently.
I used to know, I actually do know people who keep large amounts of cash because they don't trust our banking system. I used to think they were crazy, but you know what? They're probably the same ones. They're probably
what are you going to keep? Are you going to keep gold buried in your backyard?
I mean, it assumes I have something to keep, Leo, but yes.
Right. Well, my question has always been,
it's bleak out here. Yeah.
The industrial value of gold is far lower than whatever it is per ounce now. I mean, it's significant. Same with silver. So even though it's not a fiat currency, it's precious metal. It still isn't exactly as valuable as you would like it to be. And if the entire economy collapses and you've got a bunch of gold coins, what are you going to do? Eat them?
Yeah. It was interesting. I had a chat with a Wall Street Journal reporter who did a book about what would happen if nuclear war took place and it all fell apart. And he said the thing you want to stockpile is $2 bills, because down in the Cheyenne Mountain Complex, they have $1 billion in $2 bills, which are going to be used as a reserve currency if it all goes to pot.
Who said nobody? Is that true?
Them. Apparently so. Yes.
That sounds like a conspiracy.
No. I mean, this is a Wall Street Journal reporter.
$2 bills?
I have a stack of them, actually, because side note. So
cool.
we have a holiday called Eid, and every year we have a community member who
it's a good little gift.
$2 bills, and even though I'm not a kid anymore, I still get one. So I just save them every single year. So I'm going to keep those super safe.
Is that the $2 bill a tradition of your family, or is it actually a
it's
tradition?
Just something that he decided to do. Well, giving out money is a tradition throughout the entire holiday,
like the Chinese red envelopes and that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he decided he's going to do $2 bills, and I just thought they were cool. But hey, if there's something
it's very cool,
special, then
who loves $2 bills is Steve Wozniak.
Oh, okay.
In fact, if I run down, I could get some. I have them autographed by Steve Wozniak.
Oh.
They're in my dresser drawer.
I love that.
But what he likes to do, which is pretty funny, he goes to the U.S. Mint and he buys them uncut. So it's a sheet of $2 bills, which apparently you can do if you go to the Mint.
Wow.
That's legal.
Not only is it legal, he then binds them into a pad. And his favorite thing to do, he's told this story, is to go into a store with this pad of $2 bills and cut off a couple of $2 bills and give it to the guy and say, no, it's legal tender.
Wow.
And see if they think like what they do.
He could do that because he's Steve Wozniak.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
It's legal tender. He's got a pad of $2 bills. So I should, during the next break, I'll run down and get them because I have a sheet of them uncut.
That's amazing.
To prove. Autographed by Woz.
That's really cool.
Anyway, apparently law enforcement agencies very worried about stablecoin. I did not know this. Most illegal activity happening on cryptocurrency platforms now involves stablecoins because bad guys see the inherent value in a stable coin as well.
Stable.
They're stable.
Yeah. But I mean, you remember 10 years ago when, ransomware, when it was taking off, you had to have money mules, you had to dupe college students and people who were desperate into taking these funds and transferring them in order for a cut. Cryptocurrencies takes all that out the loop. You managed to get rid of all the things that were really holding them back in terms of laundering this money. And stable coins, certain types of cryptocurrency, I think honestly are A, enabling, and B, making it a much more profitable transaction.
Absolutely. That's something I think about with like all new tech is if we just got rid of crypto coins, if they disappeared tomorrow, do we lose anything in the world other than the rampant amounts of like illegal activity or the sort of people out there who are just like speculatively investing? Like it's investment bros and people doing crimes really leading into these things. And to me, that
two of our favorite people.
Yeah.
According to the Financial Action Task Force, stable coins are most popular among terrorists, drug traffickers, and North Korean hackers.
Oh,
Wow.
those are people you really want on your client
That's
list.
why
So
you have to legitimize
I
it.
ran downstairs,
Ah,
Yeah.
Oh my god.
signed by Woz. It says it's to Henry, which means I have to give it to my son at some point.
Okay. You got to frame that.
That's
I
cool.
know, isn't that? I bet that's worth something with Woz's autograph, uncut. It's only 2 of them.
But still, it's I
Yeah.
mean, that's
$4,
fitting.
Leo. $4.
It's worth $4. Yes, thank you, Benito.
now, but when Cannibal Hour comes around in 10 years' time, that could
Exactly.
be.
I should frame that. That is pretty. cool.
Absolutely, you should.
Yeah, and on the back,
It's
of
a
the
wonderful
$2
relic of our civilization too. Like 1,000 years from now, when whatever future beings unearth the relic of our civilization here, right? They'll be like, "What the hell are they doing with $2? Why do you have a $2 currency?"
It's kind of kooky.
That's in the archaeological layer of AOL discs from the 90s, which covered the planet.
Absolutely.
Well, at least we don't have pennies anymore.
Oh yeah.
That
That's
was
not-
something I agreed with Trump on. It's such a ridiculous thing to have.
But like a lucky penny is such a cute thing.
Okay, yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's a sentimental value. It doesn't have to be logical.
There was an article about how Trump has kind of, among other things, focused on kind of meme things to appeal to a certain generation of digital natives.
That's a polite way of putting it. Yeah.
Getting rid of the paper straw, writing an executive order saying showers should have more pressure.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
you heard about the In and Out thing as a fellow Californian.
No, tell me more.
That
Trump, I get the press release from the White House every week, just saying their great triumphs, and they'd put out that In and Out were basically changing their entire menu based on President Trump and going back to beef tallow for fries, which would exclude.
it's actually, I think, for RFK's purposes, because remember, RFK doesn't like seed oils for reasons no one understands.
There's a lot of reasons don't understand about RFK. But they were
Also,
forced to
real
issue-
sugar in Coke is another one too.
Oh yeah, that's another one. Mexican Coke.
Right.
Do we want? Is this what we want our
Real
government
sugar
to
is
really-
actually, it is better, but it's one of those things. Like occasionally the dude says something that is correct, but I don't give
Stop
him any
clock is
credit.
twice. Yeah,
I
stop
I
clock is
admit
right
the
twice
one
a
thing
day.
he could do that would change my tune is get rid of daylight saving time.
Oh yes, please, please.
Get rid of the clock change. And I don't care which way you keep. If you keep, I don't care which one you
Oh,
keep.
you got to
but
keep the longer days. That's the requirement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
the
also
days are
standardized
gonna
time
get
zones.
shorter no matter what Trump does. I have bad news for you.
But
That's
also
okay.
Just how it works.
standardized time zones, particularly across the US. You have some weird time zones over
Well,
here.
and then it depends. Like in Indiana, there's like 2 time zones in one state. That really throws
That
me
is bad. Yeah.
rough.
Yeah. So apparently, In and Out said no. we're still using oils. We never now we're switching back to beef tallow.
Yeah.
It was a tweet that somebody. It was
was
April
April Fool.
Fool's tweet,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the White House said, "Oh yeah, that's good. Well, let's put that in a press release." Trump says Coke has agreed to put real sugar.
Coke has not said this, by the way.
I don't think that's true.
Coke has not.
Remember, he
I'm
also
in the
said
land
gas
of
was
Coke.
$2 a gallon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just keep that.
Mhm.
Yeah, drove past my gas station today. Not even close. It's
No.
5 and above. You know, it's-
Well, we're in California where it is more expensive than anywhere else, but
Definitely.
yeah. I mean hell, I had some In and Out last week because it's the best damn burger in California, and yeah, great burgers. They're a great company in many ways. They pay their staff properly. They give them benefits. They give them 401ks. To bring them into this and just like, oh, we saw this tweet, right? Let's put that in there. That screams desperation.
Also, the fries at In-N-Out aren't good anyway. So like,
They're not
They
good fries.
really aren't.
like this
No.
isn't even a conversation. Yeah.
they're not.
No.
They make them fresh. There's a guy. I see the guys with their big potato thing.
Yeah,
Do it
but
then.
that's why they're bad. They don't double fry them.
Yeah,
I mean,
you have to get
I'm
them.
totally with you on this, Abra. I
Yeah,
don't understand how they could do such a great burger and lousy fries.
Fully agree. They poured all their resources into one thing. I mean, the shakes are good too, but yeah, the fry is not it. If you get them animal style, it makes it a little better, but like still.
Well, yeah, because you're
Yeah.
lading it with mayonnaise. and
Yeah,
other-
it's delicious.
Yeah.
Well,
You
I
need
mean,
Five Guys fries and In-N-Out burgers.
Yes.
That's the.
yeah.
So what does Five Guys do differently? Do we know?
I think they also cook it fresh, but they taste better.
And they're
Yeah.
they're not dry.
Yeah.
Like the In-N-Out
Yes.
fries are just dry. They taste like cardboard.
Yeah, I mean, Five Guys, I think, double cook them. In-N-Out just cook them the once, which is why, as you say, they taste like cardboard.
Yep.
I mean, if you get them well done, they're slightly better,
Right.
but only slightly.
Okay, the next time you guys are in town, and I'm serious about this,
Mhm.
let me know. We will go to our local French bistro where they cook their fries in duck fat.
Oh,
that's how
yeah,
you-
and their
That's
steak
how you
frite,
do it.
their steak frite is
That's
a
amazing.
thing of beauty and a joy forever.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I do a goose every Christmas, and that gives me 6 months of roasted potato fat.
Ooh.
Potatoes in bird fat are just amazing.
I had no idea.
Maybe you didn't know this. Petaluma, which was known for years as the chicken capital of the world, is now the duck capital of the world.
Aw.
All Liberty ducks are the best ducks,
Wow.
considered the best duck. And so we have a lot of duck fat, I guess. I don't know.
That's a good problem to have. Yeah, we don't appreciate ducks enough in America.
I asked the chef at this great bistro. He's very cute. He's very French. I said, Nick, how many
Sorry,
pounds
very
of
cute
butter?
and very French. Those things don't generally get
Oh, he's
together.
adorable. He gives you a big hug. He says, hello. He's a big guy. I said, Nick, how many pounds of butter a week do you go through? He said, well, 85 kilos, but the real thing is the duck fat. We go through so much more duck fat. I said, okay, great. Thank you, Nick.
Great.
Don't go there for, don't bring RFK Jr. there. Maybe you should. Maybe he likes that. I don't know.
I mean, Anthony Bourdain had a lovely quote where it was just like, you don't understand quite how much butter gets used in restaurants. You know, if you want to elevate a dish in any way at all, slam the butter in there.
Butter and salt. That's
My
all it is.
doctor said that in a somewhat different way. He said, do you eat that a lot? I said, yeah, we like to. He said, they're cooking not for your health. They're cooking for you to come back.
Right.
They're cooking for
Yeah.
your taste. It's not for your health. And I said, yeah, I know. That's why I like it.
Exactly. That's why you go back.
That's why I go back. All right, we're gonna take a little break. We should get back on the news. We'll talk about AI and movie making because I'm very curious about this conversation you had with Eliza McNitt Devindra. But first, I want to talk about: do I look particularly well rested? I got a really good sleep score last night. It's because of my Helix mattress. I love my Helix mattress. This episode of This Week in Tech brought to you by Helix Sleep. Your mattress is more important than, it's not just the 8 hours a night you sleep on it. You're on it a lot. Movie nights with your partner, morning cuddles with your pet, like our little kitty cat Rosie. She loves our Helix Sleep. Want your wind down ritual after long days. We got it with the adjustable bed, so I can put it up and oh, I love it. Your mattress is at the center of it all. And when we were looking for, because you're supposed to replace your mattress every 6 to 10 years. Did you know that? Because they wear out, especially if you sleep in the same spot all the time. They get a little saggy. Maybe they get a little, I don't know, you're waking up in puddles of sweat because they're a little hot, or your back's hurting because it's sagging a little bit, or, it doesn't support you as well. So you feel every toss and turn your partner makes. This is what we call in the business a classic mattress nightmare. It's what we were experiencing. And so we went out, we looked, and we saw the reviews for Helix Sleep, and it sold us. One buyer said, with 5 stars, I love my Helix mattress. I will never sleep on anything else. And you know what? I will concur. We've had it for a week now. I love it. Time and time again, Helix Sleep remains the most awarded mattress brand. When you see the awards, you realize how true this is. Wired's best mattress for 2025. These are all 2025, this year's awards. Good Housekeeping's bedding awards for 2025, premium plus size support. The GQ Sleep Awards 2025 best hybrid mattress. Wirecutter, New York Times Wirecutter, featured for plus size. I didn't know this. Oprah has sleep awards, she calls them. Best hotel-like field 2025, the Helix Sleep. Look at all those awards. That got us interested, and then we tried it. And I have to say, Helix Sleep changes everything. No more night sweats, no back pain, no motion transfer. You get the sleep you deserve. We went all out. We even got their lovely mattress topper. It is like sleeping on a cloud. Go to helixsleep.com/twit for 27% off site-wide during their 4th of July sale, Best of Web offer extended. That's helixsleep.com/twit for 27% off site-wide, exclusive for listeners of This Week in Tech. This offer ends on July 31st. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. And if you're listening after the sale ends, still be sure to check them out at helixsleep.com/twit. There's always something going on. helixsleep.com/twit. Oh my God, this thing is so comfy. In fact, I think I might just go take a nap right now.
Would make for kind of a dull podcast, but
no, it's not dull. I'm enjoying every second of it.
Well, if you're asleep, it would be. But
it would be if I weren't here. Yes, I did run down and I got my $2 bills. Well, you didn't even notice. I ran downstairs.
You were really fast with that.
Ran back.
You're fast. Yeah.
A lot of breath.
We vamped for you, Leo. We
I saw you vamping. Thank you.
Yeah.
Devindra's good. You know, you guys, all three of you have hosted shows for us, so you know. Sometimes one must wander off. And when that happens, you just keep talking.
Step in.
Keep going.
You're very good.
The show must go on.
You also, Devendra, host the Engadget podcast. Yes.
Yes.
So you talked with a director of Ancestra, Eliza McNitt, about AI. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so she produced this the short, which is one of the first ones produced together with Primordial Soup, which
is
Darren Aronofsky's
company. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
and Google DeepMind, yeah.
So this unlike the Netflix is getting a little heat because they used a little bit of AI.
A little bit of AI. This
in
one
of their
a
movies.
lot of AI. Yeah.
Look, it's CGI. I don't know why people would be upset about this. This one is all AI, right? Ancestra.
Well, mostly AI.
Mostly?
So there is it's about a woman who goes for a pregnancy checkup and she discovers she has to have the delivery right now, an emergency C-section. So there is live action footage. It's based on Eliza McNitt's own birth. And there's live action footage, but it also uses a lot of other techniques too. But it uses AI for some of the intercut footage, also to produce a sort of virtual infant that looks like her as a child too.
That's reasonable. I always get very squirrely when I see babies on camera.
Right.
Like, that's not a nice thing to do to a newborn baby.
Yeah.
I always think they should be rubber dolls. So use AI. That's okay.
And then when it's a rubber doll, it looks really bad. I'm thinking of like American Sniper had a really terrible rubber doll. Or if it's a CG baby, it's like the baby from Twilight. It's a nightmare. So.
It's like Ally McBeal. It's like the dancing baby. It's not a good thing. So this is where a lot of people use AIs during special effects.
Right.
So that's one thing that they do with this. And look, it's obviously AI. There's no lava in the, this is. So that's fine.
Cool imagery.
It's just beautiful. Yeah.
I mean, it's cool imagery, but it's also like, so the issue, I'm also a part-time film critic, and the issue people have in the arts with AI is using it at all, is that this is something that is taking away work that could be done by other like legitimate artists. And also these AI models, all of them at this point, are based on already pre-existing work and also copyrighted works too. Google has been very cagey about like what they've actually trained Veo and all their models are, but we know they took from YouTube. Like that alone is a thing. They've admitted to taking like training on YouTube. YouTube has copyrighted works. YouTube has stuff from existing artists. So essentially, if you're using any of these AI tools to create something, it is a plagiaristic thing that you're creating. You're building something that was essentially stolen from other artists. So I think that is the ethical issue going into it.
What did Eliza McNitt say about that?
I think like she really thought about this too, but she's an artist I've covered before. So she's used to do VR features. She did this thing in 2017 called Fistful of Stars, which was about exploring stellar birth. And it used imagery from the Hubble Space Telescope. She did something called Spheres, which was about the death of stars. So basically traveling around black holes in VR. So she's always using new media. And to her, she says it's ultimately up to every individual artist to figure out the tools that they're going to use. She's using AI as a tool. She said she set up some of her own ground rules. There will never be like an AI person other than the infant that was created. There's no AI actors in this. It's all the intercut footage. They do some special effects to like view a baby inside the mother's womb and then zoom into the baby's heart. So it's using AI to do some of those special effects shots, but nothing that was produced by AI here. I don't think any of it could not have been done with other tools. You could have used CG. You could have used like really creative stock footage even. She used chemical photography, macro and micro photography for something. So there's real filmmaking in here. She just used AI for a couple of things. And I think it's interesting, but also I don't know. She tells me like Darren Aronofsky called her up because they worked together before to produce something. So she was commissioned to produce this AI project. I don't know about anybody like just wanting to use AI as a fun creative thing. Like she was essentially paid to do this, and this is the idea that came up. And it's interesting, but it's also like all this AI footage is so uninteresting. It is not the good stuff in this short. The good stuff is the live action performance by Audrey Corsa of this woman who's going through a dramatic, like a really awful pregnancy scare situation there. So it really
that's what we care the most about.
That's what you care about.
Humans.
And the AI stuff is all a distraction, and also it feels a little silly too at times. Like some of the footage just looks too clean. It doesn't feel like it's something that has a human hand as a part of it. So, you know, I think for her it was complex. There were a lot of people working on this. She had a huge team at Google DeepMind who were working on the prompts for her. So it wasn't like she was just like typing in a couple of things and taking what they delivered to her. But she also says that they worked on those prompts a lot. Like they went through several iterations to get some of those shots. And I couldn't help but think about like the sort of like just the resources it took to do that, because we know prompting AI, especially for creating media, that uses a ton of power, that uses a ton of water at these data centers. And like, is it worth it to get some kind of cool footage? I don't really know. I don't think so.
And I wonder too, it's good that there's that line between, okay, let's keep the real actors in and use this for special effects. Do you think studios will know where to draw that line and to stick to it? That's the fear that I have, right? It's
not at all.
Oh, we've accomplished this. Let's just make more of it AI. And then all of a sudden it's all lost in that.
Yeah. The studios just want to save money. Like that's what it's going to come down to. And the more these tools are normalized, like we're going to get worse art because of it and cheaper art. And to me, that feels genuinely awful.
Absolutely. Because good cinematography is beautiful shots, right? You look at that and that's what makes something worth watching. Just because you can create it doesn't mean people want to consume it.
Can AI art be beautiful?
Objectively, yes.
Yeah,
I think so. But I think personally it lacks humanity. And what is art but like this expression of humanity, this expression of something we're feeling? It's an emotion, it's a thought in your head. And when I look at AI art, like I'm looking at a lot of this intercut footage in Ancestra, it feels like pretty it's cold. Footage. It's cold. It's removed, and it doesn't feel legitimate. It doesn't feel real to me. And eventually it's going to get good enough that where we don't even recognize it. And to me, that's kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
So Netflix is taking heat because they used AI to create a scene of a building collapsing in an Argentine science fiction show called The Eternaut.
I hear it's really good, by the way. I hear the show itself is good.
Okay. So. And I remember in Seth Rogen's Apple TV show, The Studio, he got booed off stage as a movie executive at Comic-Con for saying, we're going to use AI to do some eyebrows and stuff. Like, I think there is a backlash somewhat.
There's absolutely a backlash. Like, and that's basically why I kind of framed our conversation. It's sort of like Eliza McNitt defending her use of this technology. And I think like there's pushback for me framing it that way too. But I think any artist that just uses these tools has to answer for why they're using AI and has to answer about their own personal justifications for it. So
we've just had the SAG-AFTRA settlement with actors for video games, where they're just saying, look, if we're going to act in video games and use our voices, you can't just rip that off and use AI. And I think that's a very good thing indeed, because I agree totally with you both. Just doesn't feel right. There's something that's just off. And I think that's just because we're trained on seeing real footage and real people. And I worry that the next generation who's been trained on who's grown up watching AI content won't be able to make that differentiation.
Yeah. And AI content is inherently recycled too. So does that reduce the idea, any sense of like originality? Because,
but everything's recycled. I mean,
we say we're influenced by
Disney
things,
didn't invent Snow White out of whole cloth.
That's a
recycled idea.
Kind of.
That's the essence of it. Yeah.
If you look
But-
at the original Cinderella story, the evil sisters cut their toes off in order to fit into the glass slipper.
Well, he left that out.
Yeah, I know.
But somebody once said there are only 5 stories. I think it was my English professor in 8th grade. There are only 5 stories. They're just recycled all the time.
But that's the
Return of the
essence of the
hero,
story, not
Yeah.
how it was told. Not how it's presented to you.
So,
think
yeah, I mean,
that's the ultimate difference.
I think I expect, I don't know, we'll see, that we will always somehow prefer human creations to machine creations.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably true.
I think
Although it will
that's-
get harder and harder to distinguish them, yes?
Yeah. I guess what it comes down to is, what do people watch? You think about, I know this is different, but think about all the remakes and how sick of that people are, but they're still watching them. So they're still making
You
them.
might as well make all these Marvel movies with a machine because they're basically stamped out, right?
Yeah.
The audience responds. Like a lot of the Marvels, like the more recent ones, like they have not gotten the box office
Right.
that earlier Marvels
Yeah.
had. Like the audience does react, and it's an organism. Like they kind of react to the content too. In some ways bad, but I think in some ways it feels like, I don't know, feel very genuine in terms of how we react to this stuff. If you want to see AI content now, you can do that right now on YouTube or TikTok or wherever, where
There's
it's
a
just
lot of
robot
it.
voice talking to you, and it's awful. It's just so god awful.
But what
I
if it
wouldn't
gets
want to see
good?
everything.
Then that's what we should really be thinking about. Is at some point it is going to get almost indistinguishable, if not fully indistinguishable.
Sure.
Already getting there. And that's the
Yeah,
problem.
we're very close.
How many reels people send me, and I'm like, this is not even a real person.
Yeah, you can still kind of tell.
Really?
but-
They're sending you AI content?
Yeah, and these are people that are like my age, right? It's not even
Wow.
part of it's my mom, but part of it's also people my age. So it's a little terrifying.
Hey, just because I'm old doesn't mean I'm going to reshare what I saw on Facebook the other day.
But your AI pin will, Leo. So come on.
Yeah, it's doing it right now. The Engadget podcast with Eliza McNitt came out this week and
Yes.
did a great
I'm
job.
off, but I took time to write that up because
My
I thought it
goodness,
was a
you
good
need to take
conversation.
time off, like for real.
I need to take real time off.
He's
Yes,
very productive in his time off.
I have not. So take a page from me.
Actually, I think you might be filling in for me on my time off. I hope so.
Yeah, in a couple months. Yeah,
Good. Yeah.
looking forward to it. But yeah, I'll be in Savannah next month, so I'm taking some time off. Yeah,
Good. That's where you go for vacation?
it's typically
Savannah,
it's
Georgia, or Savannah?
It's a 4-hour drive from Atlanta area. So
That's
it's easy to
right.
get
You're out in Atlanta now. Yeah.
Mhm.
Savannah.
to.
And what's
Savannah.
down there in Savannah?
Great seafood, lovely food.
Great
It's also
seafood.
a lovely artsy town, like
Yeah.
a great, just cool hippy dippy.
Isn't that where the Garden of Good and Evil took place?
It is. I'm staying in the house that apparently John Cusack stayed in when he was filming that. So that's that's on the Airbnb. It's like, hey, he stayed here. That's
This is-
cool.
That should be, see if John left anything behind.
Wow, that accent's spectacular.
I want to go to Savannah, Georgia. I read that book and I thought it was a great book. And I really
It's a
wanna
lovely
go
town.
there.
Lovely
Yeah,
to stroll
yeah.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful little town.
I'm not even going to try and do an American accent. It just doesn't work.
Well, you notice I don't do a British accent when you're here because I'm afraid you'll mock it.
The
say-
southern to British line is not that far. Like Daniel's
That's right.
doing
They say
southern-
Appalachian accents are closer to Shakespeare's
Mhm.
Yeah.
than they are to
Bill
anything
Bryson
modern.
did a very good book on this where he was
Yeah.
looking at just that thing. And yeah, the old American accents or Southern American accents are much closer to
Makes
original
sense.
English as they are now.
Because we were from England at the time, and the people who lived in the mountains didn't get as many influences from, Northerners.
Well, I've got to say, I mean, this is something I learned when coming over here is that a lot of Scots during the Highland clearances got sent to Cajun country, which is why you get that sort of slight accent there. And I couldn't help thinking that.
How do you do?
Well, I mean, I'm half Scot. I'm pale blue. The idea of sending full-blood Scots to Cajun country and leaving them there is just.
I don't know, but I think Zydeco's great. I don't. Les le bon temps roulé. I don't know how you would do it. I don't know. Mix it
Yeah, sound
together.
like Gambit from the X-Men.
All right, we're going to take a little break. It's so good to have Abrar Al-Hidi here. She is a senior technology reporter at CNET. How are things at the new CNET? You happy with the new
I am happy.
regime?
Yes.
Good.
It feels like it's the right fit, which
Yay.
is all you could ask for, right? Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear it.
Thank you.
The Register is still owned by the same damn people that started it, right, Ian Thompson? I think it's nothing's
27
ever
years
changed.
and carrying on rocking. You know?
Love it. That's Ian Thompson from the Register, and of course, the wonderful. We were talking about Jason Calacanis. He started Engadget. Come to think of it,
He did. Yeah.
way back in the day. Weblogs Inc. Devendra, you don't go back that far with Engadget.
I don't go back. I go back 10 years at this point.
That's
I've been here for
a
while.
lifetime in this business.
That was a AOL era, and then we turned into Yahoo. So yeah.
Yeah, he was there when I was working there. That's how long he's been
Yeah.
working there.
Wow. Benito has worked everywhere, by the way. I think he's got a thing. He vests and he leaves. I don't know. I'm just thinking that maybe that's why he's so.
Oh yeah, my
intimately-
Engadget stocks are like blowing up.
Notice I didn't give you any stock at all, Benito. So
You knew what you were doing. Yeah.
yeah, I'm not falling for that old plan. Not that we have any stock. And if we did, it really wouldn't be worth anything at all.
Yeah, 2 more months and I'm 15 years at the Register, and it's just
Wow.
like, wow, where did that time go?
Well, you know, this show is 20 years old this year. It was turned 20. That's a long damn time to be doing this.
Awesome.
And I
Still
see
fun,
Conan
though.
O'Brien interviewing Mark Maron saying, you invented this. No, Mark Maron didn't invent it. I invented it. Well, I didn't invent it either, but
You invented Netcast, Leo. That's what you're known for.
Look how they took off. This Netcast is brought to you by our friends at US Cloud, the #1 Microsoft Unified Support Replacement. Actually, I really think the world of these guys. I had a nice conversation with them. I said, well, what's the cloud part? They said, well, it's really about Microsoft. They are the global leader in third-party Microsoft support for enterprises. I said, yeah, but what's the cloud part? Well, we now support 50 of the Fortune 500. I said, that's good. But what's the cloud part? They said, switching to US Cloud can save your business 30 to 50% over Microsoft and Unified Premier support. It's faster too than Microsoft, by the way, twice as fast in average time to resolution versus Microsoft. So you get better support for a lot less. I said, yeah, but what's the cloud part about? And they said, well, we're excited to tell you about a new offering. Their Azure Cost Optimization Services. That's what the cloud part's all about. When was the last time you evaluated your Azure cloud usage? If it's been a while, I'm going to bet you have a little bit of what we call in the business Azure sprawl going on. A little spend creep. Yes, you do. Who doesn't? It's easy. But the good news is saving on Azure is easier than you think with US Cloud. And this is something Microsoft's not going to help you do, but US Cloud will. They offer an 8-week Azure engagement. It's powered by VBox that identifies key opportunities to reduce costs across your entire Azure environment. And you are going to get expert guidance from US Cloud's senior engineers. These are the best in the business with an average of over 16 years with Microsoft products. At the end of those 8 weeks, your interactive dashboard will identify rebuild and downscale opportunities, unused resources. You could take those, reallocate your precious IT dollars towards needed resources, something you need. Although, if I may make a suggestion, if you want the savings to continue, invest those Azure savings in US Cloud's Microsoft support. That's what a few other US Cloud customers have done, and completely eliminate your unified spend, and the saving continues. Sam is the technical operations manager at a company called Bead Gaming. They use a lot of Azure. He gave US Cloud 5 stars. This is the quote. We found some things that have been running for 3 years, which no one was checking. These VMs were, I don't know, 10 grand a month, not a massive chunk in the grand scheme of how much we spend on Azure. But once you get to $40,000 or $50,000 a month, it really started to add up. Yeah, no kidding. What do you think? You maybe have some Azure sprawl, a little Azure creep? It's simple. Stop overpaying for Azure. Identify and eliminate Azure creep and boost your performance. You can do it all in 8 weeks with US Cloud. The best, fastest Microsoft support for 30 to 50% off. Visit uscloud.com and book a call today to find out how much your team can save. That's uscloud.com to book a call today and get faster Microsoft support or less. Love these guys. uscloud.com. Well, this is inspiring. A Doge staffer one of the people who has access to our information at the U.S. Treasury, the Social Security Administration, and Homeland Security. His name is Marco Illes. He is a special government employee on the Doge team. According to Brian Krebs, he recently published code to his GitHub containing, and now, believe me, this happens, a private key that allowed access to dozens of models developed by XAI, including Grok.
Great.
Now, I've done it. Well, no, actually, I haven't done it because I'm very careful not to do it. But there are plenty of developers doing this. But at the same time, this is the guy who has our most personal information from Social Security, from Department of Homeland Security, from the U.S. Treasury, our tax information, and he's committing his private keys to GitHub.
Yeah, it seems like children shouldn't be in charge of sensitive data.
Yeah,
seems
maybe
like it's
not.
all a bad idea. Yeah.
Krebs on Security reported they had an interview with Philippe Caturegli, who's the founder of a consultancy firm, who told Illes that hey, dude, you leaked your key. Illes removed the key from GitHub. The key, though, is still good. So, hey, good news. If you downloaded it while it was up there on GitHub, you can still use it. Caturegli said, if a developer can't keep an API key private, it raises questions about how they're handling far more sensitive government information.
That's a very polite way to put it. Yes.
Close the doors. So even though Elon's not still running Doge, at least as far as we know, he could be. Who knows? Maybe he's sending them telegrams. I don't know.
And a lot of the damage was already done. So it's
yeah,
like between this and the stuff they've already done.
Well, one of the things Elon said very early on was, we're going to kill IRS Direct File. That's the free file system that the IRS developed with the help of the United States Digital Services.
The thing that took years to even happen. Yeah.
Because the folks at Intuit and H&R Block, all the companies that make commercial tax software, lobbied like crazy to keep this ever from happening, because they want you to pay money to use their tools, right?
I mean, as an immigrant, this is something I really don't understand. Until I came to the US, I had never filed a tax return in my life. It was basically my employer pays this money, they reserve a certain amount for my tax, and I get the paycheck at the end of the month. And now you've got to jump through hoops or hire an accountant or go to one of these scumbag companies, and they just killed it. And it was a really great system. And I do not understand why Intuit employees are not being publicly harangued in the streets about this.
Well, listen to this. This is from Wired Magazine. When the so-called Department of Government Efficiency arrived at the Internal Revenue Service earlier this year, McKenna Kello writing this, leaders of the group reassured workers the agency's free filing tax tool, Direct File, would be spared from cuts, even though Elon had already said, oh, we're going to cut it. Only a few days after meeting with tax software lobbyists, the beloved tool was placed in the chopping block. Multiple sources tell Wired. The plan to potentially kill Direct File, the free filing tax tool developed by the IRS, was used last year in 25 states to great applause, right? The plan to kill it was initiated by Sam Korkos, who's CEO of an Andreessen Horowitz-backed health startup that has ties to SpaceX. Korkos' suggestion to cut the popular service was presented to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in the middle of March. Multiple sources say the weekend before Korkos suggested ending direct filing, he spoke of it positively to IRS engineers. By Friday, he'd changed his tune. It will remain online through the 2025 tax filing season, but will likely be dead by next year.
That's so unfortunate.
And they changed their tune because they met with lobbyists.
Well, come on, this is America. You've legalized bribery and called it lobbying.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. I mean, this is an example of not doing something for the people. Mm-hmm. Quite the opposite. I mean, the people want free file.
Well, it's hardly government efficiency, is it? You know, I mean, this is the classic example of good government efficiency, and they've killed it.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Let's go to the EU for good government efficiency.
Good government efficiency.
Oh, I'm going to get
Things
this on the
actually
net.
happening.
I can tell it. Right.
Now you're getting some.
Yeah, that and the UK's moves. Yeah, okay. This is
Yeah,
gonna be a
actually,
fun
that's right. You're not
conversation.
in the EU anymore,
Wow.
much to your chagrin.
Wow.
The EU, remember, under a little bit of pressure from the Trump administration over tariffs, one of the things Trump said, and I think actually I kind of support him on this, the EU had considered a tax on big tech companies. Among the negotiations for tariffs, apparently Trump convinced the European Commission to cancel that proposed digital tax.
Yeah, how did that work out for the Canadians, by the way? You know, I mean, they
Or
agreed to cancel
Columbia
their
University or CBS or
I mean, they all agreed to cancel these taxes, and then he was just like, psych, you're getting them anyway.
you get him
You know,
anyway.
I mean, the EU is going to get screwed by him over. Is going to get roughly treated by him over.
Trump's
this.
threat of tariffs persuaded Canada to drop a similar tax on digital firms, although Trump then announced a 35% tariff on the country anyway.
Exactly. That's just, I mean, it's ridiculous. This is gangster politics.
Yeah, but at least he's doing it for us.
Well, is he really?
I don't know.
I mean, are tariffs really going to help you that much in comparison?
I'm a little
to
worried
taxing
about
big tech firms?
my medications because we are looking at a very steep tariff on medications not made in the United States of 200%, which would then double to 400% in a year.
Good luck getting antibiotics from China because they produce 95% of the antibiotics on the planet.
Yeah.
Well, there's also this age stuff. Now, we're really moving fast. The Supreme Court has just handed down a victory to the Texas Attorney General who they sponsored a law saying you can't use Pornhub without age verification. You have to show that you're over 18 to look at adult content. Of course, this is considered by some to be a violation of the First Amendment, not the Supreme Court, which said, no, that's fine. So now we're going to see, I think, all over the United States, all sorts of age verification. There will be states that will say you have to be over 16 to use social media, for instance. The problem is, of course, everybody, not just kids, will have to prove their age by showing these companies their government ID. Reddit has begun age verification checks in the UK. Because of the
what
UK.
did the British do? They took the piss. If you look at some of the things going on social media, it's like, this is the image I'm going to put into the Reddit engine. It's like horses laughing and the rest of it. So we're maintaining a healthy sense of skepticism about this, but it's a really bad idea.
Blue Sky is also doing this. I mean, they have to, right? The UK Online Safety Act requires these social networks to prevent children from accessing age-inappropriate posts. Reddit's going to use a third-party company called Persona.
Who's going to get hacked very quickly.
Right. At least you don't have to go into a pub. That was one of the original proposals.
Well, come on. I mean, okay, I grew up in England, and trust me, there were everyone knew the pubs in town where as long as you didn't turn up on a tricycle and ask for a cup of beer, please, they'd serve you. So,
Hey, sir, could I have some ale? Reddit will use Persona to verify a user's age. You will have to upload a photo of your government ID or take a selfie.
Yeah.
But of course, Abrar, that's not going to convince anybody. You look like you're 12. So you gotta.
I'm going to keep this forever. That is a great.
You're gonna have to get a government ID, I suspect.
That's right.
No, we're not in Britain, but I think this is coming to the U.S. I really do. Reddit says we're not going to get access to the photos. We're only going to be saving the verification status along with your birthday. Hey, that way you won't have to re-enter your birthday when you want to access restricted content.
But several states in the U.S. are already pushing for this too.
Absolutely.
So Pornhub has left a lot of the states.
All of those states. That's right. Yeah.
And all of these laws in the states have very similar language to them. It's basically cut and paste.
Reddit is not just blocking adult content, though. So if you're under 18 in the UK, you also can't see gambling. You also can't see anything that encourages disordered eating, anything that incites hatred against other people based on their race, religion, sex, sexual orientation, disability, and gender, anything that encourages violence. Basically, you can't use Reddit, okay? Any post that depicts real or serious violence or realistic violence against a person, an animal, or a fictional creature.
Yeah.
No beating up on Dobby the house elf anymore.
Well, yes, unless you go to the cinema, or unless you watch television.
Different. If you're Dirty Harry, all bets are off.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand why they're so prudish about this, and yet you can watch. RoboCop's just come up on my streaming services. In the 1980s, we watched people getting blown apart by robots.
We still do. I just watched The Boys. The guy took a baseball bat and chopped people. I mean, it's violent. It's vicious. And that's, by the way, I think aimed at kids, isn't it? I mean, it's about comic book heroes. Well, I don't know.
When I was a kid, kids couldn't enter R-rated movies, though. So, yeah. R-rated movies were blocked. So
I understand. And it is true. You can't go into a magazine store and buy adult content as a kid.
You can.
Okay. In theory, as a kid.
In another magazine. Yeah.
You just got to pass over and say, I got this $2 bill that says that Playboy's going home with me. But that's what I really worry about is it isn't just limited to adult content. I mean, look at this. Content that shames people's body types and other physical features will be restricted. Posts encouraging people to ingest harmful substances. The problem is this gets so broad that pretty soon you can see, well, you definitely won't have any LGBTQ content.
Yeah.
You definitely won't have any transgender content. You won't have anything that community standards in the most ridiculously backward biased community won't tolerate. Users outside the UK will not be affected by this particular rule, but Reddit says, we may have to do this in other regions if they adopt similar laws. Yeah. Roblox adding, now this might not be such a bad thing. They're adding an age estimation feature for teens using video selfies. And that's because of Roblox chat, which is apparently a hive of scum and villainy. And you don't want the kids going in there, especially to be groomed, right? So maybe that's okay. They're relying on, guess who? Persona. Persona's going to have a lot of good data, though. Hackers just, you can.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the gold mine. I mean, this is why these laws hold down. It's just like if you've got to scan your government ID or your credit card, this is just like catnip to criminal attackers because you get the whole thing and they're collecting it for you. It's ridiculous.
5 EU countries to test age check app under new child safety rules. France, Spain, Italy, Denmark, and Greece will be turning this on. It's a pilot program, but it's the beginning. This is using the same standards as the European Digital Identity Wallet, which that's never going to happen in the U.S. I don't think. People are so scared of a government ID system. The legislation aims to hold 19 online platforms, including Meta, TikTok, and X, accountable for limiting children's exposure to harmful content, addressing addictive design features. See, there you go. Addictive design features. Talk about a nebulous concept. Oh, you mean it's fun to use? Oh, that's not allowed. Preventing cyberbullying. Each country will be able to customize the age checking tool to fit its national requirements, either integrating it into an existing digital ID app or deploying it as a standalone solution. So we're going to get all kinds of different ways to do this, I guess. And this is all just a dress rehearsal for the U.S.
I mean, they have some weird early adopters there as well. I mean, France, the nation would sleep with the kitchen sink if it had a tutu on. It's,
they're actually pretty restrictive in France. It's really interesting.
I don't know. I mean, you go to France and they've got comic.
They got naked women on their money.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and Britain, for goodness sake.
They want to ban, France is now pushing for a ban on all social media use for anybody under 15. Not just
I don't know how Devendra and Abra feel about this, but I'm kind of, it's tempting. I just don't see how it could be enforced on a logical and secure basis because
that's the problem. Yeah. I mean, most social networks, like, what was it? Facebook was 13, was restricted age to join even.
I mean, I learned about my age when I joined, yeah. So
yeah, they just want to police it more, but it's hard to actually make that happen.
15 is actually the age of consent in France. They allow you to drink at the age of 16 if you're with a parent or guardian. And 18 is the age you don't even need any help then.
On the other hand, if you look at France, their rate of public drunkenness is way below, say, the UK or, Finland. Yeah, and Finland, because Finland's a special case because you have to drink to live there. But
it's the
every
long,
time I see a Finnish
long
movie,
nights.
I'm like, oh man, this is rough. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did love Sisu. I was asked for my review of Sisu, and it's like 90 minutes of Finns killing Nazis. What's not to like?
Great.
We got some real film buffs in here. Devendra, of course, does Filmcast, which is really good. The other day, I was watching a movie, a teaser for a movie, and it said, "This is a great movie, slash film." I thought, wow.
That's slash film. Yeah. Slash film's good. Like they've had a lot of good pulls. We're not part of slash film anymore.
You used to be, but yeah.
It was cool. Yeah, we used to be the slash film cast. But hey, I'm going to see the teaser trailer for the next Avatar movie tomorrow night. So they're doing special screenings just for the trailer of that movie. It's wild.
Wow.
You get to go to the screening room for the trailer.
Well, we're going to be there for something else. So
okay. And
Fantastic Four is happening an hour later, so it's like, hey, come see the trailer. But crazy times. Good. Good summer for movies.
I do want to talk about media because I mean, it has nothing to do with tech. But
should talk about Colbert, but yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, that is a story. I guess does it have to do with tech? I don't know. I'm an avid reader of Puck News, and Matthew Bellany. He says that yes, Colbert was the most popular late night show, but that doesn't mean it was making money. In fact, it was losing hundreds of millions of dollars a year, as all the late night shows do now. They used to be, the Johnny Carson, the Tonight Show used to be gold mines for these companies. But apparently younger generations don't stay up late to watch TV, or if they do, they watch YouTube instead.
Yeah,
but
this is tech because it's their clips. It's their clips that people are watching. They're not staying up too late to watch.
Yeah, and Colbert does not have
content now. Basically.
Colbert does not have nearly as good a social media presence as, say, the Tonight Show.
This is tech because Colbert is going to start a podcast and he's going to destroy everybody.
He absolutely will.
I think Conan O'Brien is a really good example of a late night host that is really popular with younger audiences, but with the whole fiasco, the Tonight Show fiasco, figured out a way to also have a very strong online presence and then maintain that, fandom. And so, that success on, or lack thereof, according to NBC on the Tonight Show, was not indicative of how popular he is or how much people like him. He then took his popularity and found a way to, still cater to the audiences that wanted to hear from him and see him.
I'm so happy that Conan has made this work. Right?
I know.
Yeah, his podcast, Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, is one of the top podcasts in the country.
It's a good show. It's a fun show. He likes doing the long conversations, but now he's back like he's doing an HBO travel show.
Yes.
So
yeah,
it's kind of gone back around for him.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to see what Colbert does with this, though, because he's still got a fair amount of time to run. He's already being fired. He could really let go. And
that's the argument, that it isn't political. Remember that CBS did settle the lawsuit over 60 Minutes with Donald Trump, and it's thought that they did that because Paramount wants to merge with Larry Ellison's kids Sky Dancer.
Colbert had a whole segment calling CBS out for that.
Yeah. And he has not been exactly kind to Trump either. And so there was a lot of speculation that it was Sherry Redstone trying to make sure that the administration, which, by the way, and this is the problem, we talked about this before, you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. Yeah, they gave the Trump administration money in the 60 Minutes lawsuit, even though it was a slam dunk First Amendment violation, and it was completely absurd lawsuit. And they still didn't get approval. The merger has not yet been approved. So he's still got a lot of leverage. So there was some suspicion that maybe that's why they fired Colbert. But I don't think that's true, because I could tell you, as a media mogul myself, if you're worried about somebody, you don't give them a year to continue on the air after firing them.
That's in his contract, though, right? He's contracted till next year, so it would be a bigger.
He gets a notice period then.
I don't know. I'm not sure what the deal is, but he is still around. I don't know how you can look at this, Leo, and look at the timing of this and say this isn't political.
It feels
is the most
political.
thin-skinned, person in the world.
And
so
you know that he doesn't
Colbert's
say it
hitting everybody.
outright. He says, it'd be nice if that Colbert guy's driving me nuts.
I will say, Conan, after he was fired and knew it was scorched earth for him. That was some good stuff.
It was such
just
good
like
TV.
really.
Oh,
That's why you don't leave. I'm telling you, I know
Colbert is going to do some good stuff. And
you don't leave people on the air
something
after
else.
you fire them. That's just a recipe for disaster.
But they're going to get good ratings out of it. So here we go.
Maybe they don't care. The problem is all of these late night shows. I did not know this. I thought they were still moneymakers. They are no longer. They're money losers. So they're all.
I didn't know that.
They're all on the block, right? Even
That's
Fallon.
right. It's not going to end here, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, Jon Stewart is looking. If I was Jon Stewart, I would make sure I had a really good golden parachute lined up because he's the logical next choice.
Exactly.
And that was always temporary for him. Like he was just there to basically fill the seat for a while, it seemed.
In fact, I don't think he really initially was planning on coming back every week, but he has now.
Yeah, I mean, it's you've got to ask yourself though, when the president is so. Oh God, I'm going for immigration, so I shouldn't say this. But when the president is so angry,
it's great being a U.S. citizen, isn't it?
It's the best. You're gonna
love it, Ian, and all the rights and benefits there too. Have you seen Devendra? Have you seen Sovereign yet? Nick Offerman's new movie.
I have not. I have a screener for that. I need to see that.
It's very interesting.
It looks cool. I've been.
He's a sovereign citizen. One of those people who says, I don't owe taxes. I don't need a driver's license.
Yeah.
I am
my
not
house
engaged.
Is on fire. Please come help.
Yeah. It's really an interesting. It does not end well. I wish it was a good movie, but I would have loved to have seen more about the sovereign citizen movement. I think that's a very weird and interesting movement. Anyway,
it creates some great YouTube videos, though. It's just like getting.
I love watching the traffic stops with these guys.
Yeah.
It's hysterical.
So what were you thinking?
There's I looked up sovereign citizen on Wikipedia when I was watching the movie because I wanted to get up to date on what the latest thinking in the sovereign citizen movement was.
There's thinking?
Yeah. And I like this. This is a homemade license plate driven by a sovereign citizen. Private, no driver's license or insurance required. I am lawfully private, not for commerce use, private mode of travel. That does not work, kids.
Nope.
That does not work. Although, in a way, I kind of respect the attitude that I don't give permission to the government to coerce me with violence.
Up to a point, but you're quite happy to drive on the roads that they build and to benefit from the education system they provide and to
I feel like there's a nexus between how the tech elite billionaires feel and the sovereign citizens feel. Because both of them, Elon acts like, I made all this money myself. No.
14 billion of it.
Yeah.
I mean, 14 billion in NASA subsidies helps, but
No, it didn't work that way. All right. Okay, one more Trump story. I'm sorry. I got to do one more.
Oh, I'm doomed. Right.
This is a good one. They are going to spend $1 billion on offensive hacking operations. This is from TechCrunch.
But knowing him, it's just hacking with lots of swear words. Like it's just
offensive cyber. Well, it is offensive. They said offensive.
Hey, noob, we're owning you.
This is part of the one big beautiful bill. They don't say specifically what offensive cyber operations are, nor what tools or software will qualify.
Oh, great.
The budget does note the money will go towards enhancing and improving the capabilities of the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, which operates in Asia Pacific and of course includes China.
And I believe is run by Mike Flynn's brother, but yes.
Oh, really? Is that true?
The head of U.S. military APAC is Mike Flynn's brother, or at least was last year.
Now, of course, Trump has already gutted CISA, the cybersecurity agency. The budget's been cut way back.
Yeah, the people actually doing this work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there is some concern about offensive cyber operations. Clearly, we are the subject of offensive cyber operations. Salt Typhoon is a Chinese operation that has infested our telecom system. Other countries are routinely hacking us. Russia, I think, probably supports a lot of the ransomware gangs that are taking down cities and schools and hospitals in the United States. At least tacitly supports them. So there's definitely offensive operations against us. But there is a risk of engaging in this. A hot cyber war could be disastrous, right?
Well, I mean, we've done this before. Do you remember the OPM hack when China basically got
Office of Personnel Management,
Yeah, they got all the government's, they got fingerprints, security briefings, the rest of it. And they had the head of the NSA at a security conference a couple of months later, and he said, yeah, if we'd seen this open, we would have done it as well. Because we're already doing this stuff. But a hot cyber war, we're going to lose. Because,
Well, I think everybody loses. I mean, it's like a nuclear war. There's no winners if you destroy the grid.
But China controls most of its critical infrastructure, as does Russia. America doesn't. 80% of the US's critical infrastructure is run by private companies.
Yeah.
So if you go full offensive, we're going to lose.
Actually, related to this, Microsoft apparently had been using Chinese support personnel with the Defense Department. China was using engineers in China to help maintain the Defense Department's computer systems with minimal supervision by U.S. personnel. They say we're going to knock that off. This was a expose from ProPublica. Good on you, ProPublica, for finding this. Various people involved in the work had told ProPublica they warned Microsoft the arrangement is inherently risky, but the company launched and expanded it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, to his credit, Pete Hegseth actually has called them out on this and said they're doing an investigation. And I'm sure the DoD's DUI hire will be a very thorough thing in terms of dealing with this.
Well, they use escorts.
Yes, digital escorts is what they called them. And it was just like, worst name ever. Get the marketing department
because in person, if you go work at an agency, a real person will walk you into a facility to do
as an escort.
So, an escort. So that's the idea. They would hop on Teams chats with a U.S. person with the security clearance to
oversee the work. Yeah,
to oversee the work, but essentially input the code given to them. Or whatever, input the commands given to them by the Chinese workers. And
that's what ProPublica says.
Yeah.
They lack the technical expertise to police foreign engineers with far more advanced skills.
Seems bad.
Some are former military personnel with little coding experience who are paid barely more than minimum wage for the work.
And so can easily be bought off as well.
One escort said, we're anonymously to ProPublica, we're trusting that what they're doing isn't malicious, but we can't really tell. What's been going on for a decade?
Well, I mean, if you look at the other report this week that Salt Typhoon have been going after the National Guard and have had control of them control of their systems for a year. They've already gone after telcos and congressional systems as well. The Chinese aren't, sitting on their backsides about this. They're
so maybe we should have a cyber offensive capability.
I mean, there's always stuff going back and forth. We don't hear about it. But the reporting.
I feel like we should spend money on defense too, though, and we cut that way back.
Yeah, or we were doing that. And
we were doing it.
Thing. We are a big target. We shouldn't be out there when anything America touches that somehow gets out in the wild. Like think back to Stuxnet and the sort of unintended consequences of all that, which was something built by America and
Israel.
And Israel, but was used by Israel, and bad things can happen. And who knows the unintended consequence of this stuff.
Yeah.
We don't know where it could ultimately lead to. Infrastructure damage in one country, our infrastructure is terrible. If we were actually attacked on infrastructure level, we would be doomed, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the thinking in that, when China decides to invade Taiwan, are we going to send aircraft carriers there when the entire electric or water or credit card system breaks down? We're going to have bigger fish to fry.
All right. Let's take a break. Take a deep breath. It's all going to be okay. You're watching This Week in Tech. Devindra Hardwar, Abrar Al-Hiti, and Ian Thompson, our panel for the week. This episode brought to you by Zscaler, the leader in cloud security. Hackers, we know this, are using AI right now to breach your organization. AI powers innovation and drives efficiency. You know, it's great when you use it, but it also helps bad guys use it to deliver more relentless and effective attacks. Phishing attacks over encrypted channels last year increased by 34.1%, fueled by the growing use of generative AI tools and phishing as a service kits, which means anybody can do it. Organizations in all industries, from small to large, are also using AI in a positive way. They're leveraging AI to increase employee productivity, with public AI for engineers, with coding assistants, marketers with writing tools, and finance creating spreadsheet formulas. They're automating workflows for operational efficiency across individuals and teams. They're embedding AI into applications and services that are customer and partner facing. Ultimately, AI is helping many companies move faster in the market and gain competitive advantage. But it's a double-edged sword. Companies need to rethink how they protect their private and public use of AI and how they defend against AI-powered attacks. Chief Information Security Officer from the New York City Department of Education. I mean, this is a target, right? He says, with AI, I'm concerned about the usage of it, but I also love the innovation with it. How are employees using AI? Which AIs are they using? Zscaler can be a good partner there to help us find the answers to those questions and help us move faster when it comes to incident response and finding that needle in the haystack, proactively finding threats to our network and our data. Zscaler can help you use AI responsibly and safely, and it can help you protect in ways that traditional security measures can't. You know, we've always used perimeter defenses, firewalls, and then VPNs to get through the firewall, giving you public-facing IP addresses, which exposes your attack surface. And nowadays, we're getting hammered by AI-based attacks on those public IP addresses. There is a better way. It's time for a more modern approach. Zscaler's comprehensive zero-trust architecture plus AI that ensures safe public AI productivity, protects the integrity of your private AI, and stops AI-powered attacks. 3 ways it can help you. Thrive in the AI era with Zscaler Zero Trust Plus AI to stay ahead of the competition and remain resilient even as threats and risks evolve. Learn more at zscaler.com/security. That's zscaler.com/security. We thank him so much for supporting This Week in Tech. Well, even though there are only 10 Tesla robotaxis right now in Austin, they're not racking up a great success rate. Most recent story is a Tesla robotaxi tried to cross a railroad crossing when the train was coming through, and the safety driver, who normally kind of stays out of it, was forced to say, no! There have been, and there's only, believe me, there are only 3 of these Tesla robotaxis, but they really are, they seem to be getting in trouble in all sorts of interesting ways. By the way, the guy in the passenger, clearly a Tesla stan, says, I still give the trip an A. What?
A for alive. I'm still alive.
What? Okay. All right.
Thanks, Tesla.
Thank you, Tesla. You kept me alive. You didn't kill me. Oh, yeah. Joe Tegtmeyer is an avid Tesla fan and host of a Tesla-centered YouTube channel. Okay.
Yeah,
that's how. Yeah. Okay. Now, he was actually one of the few Tesla fans invited by Tesla to participate in the robotaxi program. He has completed 160 robotaxis, and he said the train only tried to kill me once. So that's not so bad.
It's a good percentage.
Yeah.
Human drivers will in that amount of trips, you'll probably have one crazy human driver incident too. So who knows?
He shared this on X. He said, to be completely honest, there was one incident I didn't get on camera. We were waiting at a light near a railroad crossing. As we waited, the train lights came on. The arms started coming down. The robotaxi didn't see that and started to drive.
I mean, that's a really critical thing to,
Seems bad.
to miss.
Seems
I
real
mean,
bad. Yeah.
It's one thing to like drive through a cone on the street that's blocked off, but to not see a train.
Have you all done in Waymo? Have you written in?
I've not done a Waymo, but they actually just got into Atlanta via Uber, so I want to check that out at some point.
I'm a huge Waymo
if you can
fan.
survive Atlanta, if self-driving can do Atlanta, it can go anywhere.
So, Abrar, you've ridden in Waymos in San Francisco?
That is my ideal way to get around SF.
Really?
I've
Yeah,
become
because there's
that
nobody in the
person.
car. And you know, I think if you're a woman, it might feel a little safer.
Exactly. That's exactly why I don't want to have a conversation about where I'm from and if I'm married every time I get in a car. It's not very fun.
It's really unfortunate.
And then I can play Taylor Swift and no one objects.
Right.
Because there's no one there. It's great.
Yeah.
And you
I have
felt
colleagues-
safe in all of those rides?
I haven't experienced anything jarring. Even my first ride, you get in, you're like, okay, what's about to happen? But then the funny thing is like Waymo it strikes a good balance of being persistent and careful at the same time, because you don't want a robo-taxi that's too scared to do anything. You'll never get to your destination. It will, make those turns in that little window that it has before the light turns red. And you'll feel safe during that. That's in my experience so far.
Have you ever had to hit the button
No, thankfully I have not.
that
So yeah,
calls the home office?
yeah, exactly.
What we don't know, and I don't know if they're completely forthright about this, is how often humans take over these
right.
vehicles.
This is what I hear about too, and I have no clue because, of course,
But you don't mind because you feel safe. And I mean, honestly, that is not to be diminished in any way. That's
Right.
really a big deal.
It is, yeah, it's quite great. But yeah, I'm curious to hear if you happen to catch a ride in Atlanta. I want to hear all about it. And having it in the Uber app, I think, is really smart. In SF, you have to have the Waymo One app, but I think if it's in Uber, you don't have
Much
to
more
download
likely to
another
do it.
app. You've
Yeah.
already got it on your phone, and you could automatically get paired with it. And
Well, Uber is planning to get into this. They want to launch 20,000 new robo-taxis in the U.S. over the next 6 years.
yeah, it's a lot of robo taxis.
Yeah, no, I mean it's interesting that you say about as a single woman traveling that this makes such a difference. And I'd agree. There are some really sketchy taxi drivers in San Francisco,
Yes.
and I drove on a Waymo the first time on a Saturday night at 9 p.m. It was the safest car out there on the road, and I didn't have to interact with somebody who
Exactly.
might have been smoking or doing whatever else.
Yeah. The cars
also-
smell nice.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Also, just as a bit of fun, if you ever do come to San Francisco, viewers, you can set your own music, as you said, and Knight Rider theme has to be done.
I have to do it just for that. But I have a colleague in Phoenix too, and they love taking the Waymo for early morning airport rides because literally you're getting in, just close your eyes, and you're like there
Sleep.
at the airport.
Well, they're
Eventually.
not going to SFO yet, so once they do, that is the plan. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're not doing that for
I
SFO.
don't know
wild.
what regulation they have to, what approval they have to get from SFO, but they're all around it. They're in that area, but they just haven't gone to the airport
I
yet.
think they
It's
get
that little-
confused by the maze, right? I don't know if the Waymo can make the maze.
Oh, come on. Oh, it's just made for a Waymo.
I
It's
need to do
marvelous.
How you do it? I was raised on this, so this is my dream come true.
Do you want Kit to talk back to you? Hello?
Kit should be the
Hello,
virtual
Ian.
assistant in the car.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sassy Kit,
Yeah.
sassy AI. Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's the coming wave. I mean, if taxi drivers are going to be extinct in 10 to 15 years as this spreads out.
Truck drivers are the ones most at risk, though, right? I mean, that's the first thing. that's gonna
I'm not sure about that.
No?
Because
Although autonomous trucking has been kind of put on pause, for
Really?
Yeah.
not for everybody, just for
What happened?
companies like Waymo in particular. I mean, Aurora is doing a lot of autonomous trucking, and there's some other.
There are, I know there's in the Austin, Austin Dallas corridor, there's autonomous trucks.
So there are
Yeah.
companies that are working on it. For some reason, Waymo decided to pivot to ride hailing for the time being, and then probably eventually apply whatever it learns there. But yeah, there are still companies working on trucking, and that's going to be definitely something that changes the game.
It's because those autonomous
big
truck
difference
videos,
between-
when they fail, it's so horrifying when you see. Have you seen
Yeah,
those
it's
videos? It's
high stakes.
horrifying.
It's high.
But I
Do
mean-
they have safety drivers or no?
no, well, okay, they're being forced to, is my understanding. But the thing
Because
is,
what happens when the truck gets
drivers,
off the freeway?
then you're in trouble. But I mean, truck drivers are multi-purpose because the truck driver doesn't actually just drive the truck.
Yep.
They help unload it. They do the maintenance on it. And if you've got a burst front tire, there's no way AI is going to help you on that one. You know, truckers, this is why I think trucking is going to be a slower thing than actual driving, because if you're in a taxi and they blow out a tire, they'll just pull to the side of the road and send you another one.
Yeah.
You can't do that with a truck full of refrigerated goods.
Right.
That's Dallas, Houston. I'm sorry, I got the cities wrong.
Mhm.
Aurora launched a commercial service in Texas. Uber Freight and Hirschenbach Motor Lines are running test runs with their Auroras. Now they do have safety drivers
Mhm.
in those, which is probably a good thing.
And the thing to remember is that, when Uber was going to do its own self-driving unit, it sold that technology to Aurora. And so Uber has now decided to partner with people instead of trying to develop its own self-driving, because it's probably a lot easier.
Yeah, Neuro's
Yeah,
doing.
killing people was a bad look.
Yeah.
for
Look at
them.
GM. They got out of the business. They said
Yeah.
this is not a good business for us.
Oh,
So that's
I went down to a club in San Francisco and I found the GM Cruise graveyard.
No
it's-
way.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
We went down to a gig there, and there's an entire fenced-off system
Oh.
with all these cruises parked nose to tail, and it was just like,
what are they going to do with them?
That's actually kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah,
Really sad.
they're going to junk them.
I think, yeah.
They should. That would be actually maybe a good Pixar movie.
Cars 4.
Little lost cruise.
It's the origin
And
story of the
everything's
Cars universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all
But I mean-
began in a parking lot in South San Francisco.
But at least they were properly equipped. I mean, the thing with Tesla and why they're having so many accidents is that they're ignoring LiDAR.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, you maybe know more about this than I do, Rob, but it just, it's a $12,000 unit you're going to stick on the front of the car. You can't just rely on cameras and Tesla
And it's getting
software.
cheaper and cheaper, by the way. LiDAR
Yeah.
was really expensive, but it's gotten much, much less expensive.
Look at
There's
China.
Really no
I mean-
reason not to do it.
Yeah, China's brought the cost down enormously.
It's more Musk's, kind of determination that you don't need it
It's about
than
being different. Yeah.
than anything
exactly.
practical.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well,
But-
they were forced to like drive down prices years ago, right? So it was all part of the cost cutting.
At the
We
time,
can do it. We don't
yeah.
need extra sensors. We could just
Right.
do it with cameras, and
You can't.
Yeah, you
No.
can't. You
Apparently.
can't really, not safely, especially not if it's like you're dealing with bad weather or things like that, rain, fog. You need the LiDAR.
Yeah, I mean, Waymo isn't perfect on this one because I think it was about 2 years ago, a bunch of Waymos got lined up in San Francisco because they couldn't deal with the fog.
Hysterical
And
stories.
it's
of that.
like, it's like
or
of all
dead end
the
streets
cities
where the
that you
Waymos
can't
keep
deal with.
turning down the streets, and these poor people living on this street just have an endless parade of Waymos because they don't want to turn left, so they have to turn right, and it's just
Yeah.
not.
But I mean, with the Tesla robotaxis launch in Austin, Devendra, you said you were exactly right. They got a bunch of Tesla influencers who are well sold in on the platform, and they were still recording these errors
Mhm.
because there's no way you can hide it. So get the hardware right, get the software right, and it'll work. But just saying, no LiDAR, no LiDAR, it's just not worth it. Is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, and Tesla's approach has been very rushed compared to other companies like Waymo or Zoox, where they're like, okay, we want to make sure we don't mess this up, right? No one wants to pull a Cruise and have some sort of incident that then ends, the game for them. And even Cruise had a very measured rollout, but accidents happen. But everyone's now being even more careful. And so in this rush, I think there are going to be even more hiccups, and it's not going to be great.
Yeah, I mean, Cruise ended up parking on someone they'd knocked over.
Yeah.
Okay, now we don't call it parking. We were just resting for a minute, just a minute. It's interesting that GM decided, really, after spending, I imagine, billions on this, that this isn't a business.
About $4 billion, yeah.
And I mean, Cruise was ready to come back, right? Like they were preparing for a comeback, and then they pulled the plug, and that was it.
Yeah. Darren Oki in our Discord chat, one of our wonderful club members, does point out you can't just strap on LiDAR. You have to train.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
having not chosen LiDAR early on, Tesla kind of forced their hand on that. They'd have to.
NVIDIA's whole thing, though, is that they've been selling, the compute units and potentially, I don't know, sensor training, I think, together with that. I don't know. They've been talking about this a lot, so I feel like they would have some sort of all-in-one package at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also they've been using LiDAR to scan streets, so that it's not just... I remember about 5 years ago, we covered a scientific paper where if a kid was holding a red balloon, the car would recognize that as a stop sign. And until you map out all those stop signs, and you
have to learn.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, my ADAS driver assist on my BMW, I think I have LiDAR on that. I'm pretty sure I do.
A lot of cars do, like
or radar of some kind. Yeah.
Hang on, Leo, you're driving a Beamer, not a Tesla?
Sorry, I haven't driven a Tesla in years. I got a Model X when they first came out. I had it for 3 years. Lisa called it Christine. That's the crazy car.
I was going to say you hated it, didn't you?
Yes, I didn't hate it. I loved it. But it kept clonking Lisa in the head. It was the one with the Falcon Wing doors.
Yeah.
Awful doors.
And it didn't have sensors on the Falcon Wing bottoms. So I would push the button that says close all doors and she'd go, ow! She'd be getting in the car. So we got in the habit. I had to say, attention, closing all doors. And
That's going to be kind of fun
back.
as well.
The other thing it did, if it rained and you opened the Falcon doors, a waterfall would cascade into the car because it was just poorly designed.
Yeah.
I felt like Teslas, and even, my son had a Model Y, which I drove a little bit. I feel like they're kind of like, they're a little chintzy compared to.
Cheap. They feel real cheap.
They feel cheap. So I've had, since then, I had a Ford Mach-E, which I liked a lot, had that for 3 years. Lisa drives a Mini, which is also BMW, but it's very nice, electric Mini. We have a Chevy Volt. Bolt with a B. Bolt, which is also very nice. Those are the Bolt's inexpensive. It was like $20,000 after the rebates.
Now is a great time for cheap EVs. I just because we need a second car, so I was looking. I was like, what can I get for like $15,000 ish? And the Nissan Leaf now is an incredible deal. So that
is a good deal. What's the range though?
This one is like 160 miles, which is not that much. But also, this is a second car. I'm not taking road trips with it, right? It's local commute stuff. And for that price, and the second generation Leafs are not the ugly little bugs that the first gen was.
I didn't like the first ones. Yeah.
The second gens are hatchbacks with trunk space and usable space. So for very little money, like I got this thing. I'm probably going to write about this eventually, but
how much was it?
$15,000.
It was used.
Wow.
30,000 miles.
That's
2019.
That's a fantastic deal.
It's the high-end trim, and it has like the driver assist too, so it has the follow assist too. So it has a bit of like the assisted cruise control. But I'm probably going to write about this because when the EV tax credits go away in September, that's going to be a bad thing. Right now, like you can get
now's the time to buy. Yeah,
now's the time. Like I could have gotten $4,500 off of some used Leafs, which would bring this thing closer to $10,000.
So you can get a tax credit on a used electric
Yes, you
vehicle?
can. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
If you go to so I bought from Carvana, and they even list it in the
Nice.
listings of the cars. Like if you can apply for the tax credit, then the price of this vehicle all of a sudden comes down. Cheap EVs, if you don't care about like going over 200 miles, like you can get some really good deals right now.
Yeah, that's the problem with the Mini. It's only got about a 90-mile range, but it isn't.
This is fine.
It's a second car. It's a local.
Yeah, but if you're going down to the shops and back, then that's not a big deal. And thank you, Lee, for disproving the old adage about BMW drivers.
No, I'm a dick. No.
They're
I run stop
we used to say they're reverse hedgehogs because the pricks are on the inside.
They don't know how to use turn signals.
I actually really like it. It's a very nice car.
They do build good quality vehicles.
Yeah, it's very stable platform, and it's EV. Everything we don't do gas vehicles.
While we're on this, by the way, if anybody's in the market for a new EV right now, look at Polestar. Look at the used Polestar.
Those are beautiful.
Ridiculous.
Really?
$25,000 for a 3-year-old Polestar that sold for $70,000-$80,000. So they're out there.
Right.
So
I'm on the net right now. That's fantastic.
You need an EV, and also look at the Polestar, the actual retail stores. They have units there, and they will give you a warranty.
I think one reason that used EVs are they depreciate a lot. They're less expensive. Is there's concern about battery life, but I think the experience we've seen that these things really do go 100,000 miles and more.
Absolutely. They can't. I mean, battery life is the thing, and you can. In most EVs have like the little bars that you can check to see is the battery reaching full capacity. So that's a thing to pay attention to. I will say this cheap little Nissan Leaf, which is essentially an economy car, feels better to drive than my like very nice Volvo XC90
EVs
SUV,
are great
because that's a big car. Yeah. And just even driving a small car feels better. So
electric engines are much better, frankly. I mean, they don't have hesitation. They have a smooth torque, even acceleration. Yeah. I love
my first car was a Swedish car, and my next car could be one as well. Thank you for the tip.
Polestar, they're beautiful cars. Yeah.
My first wife was Swedish. No, that's not true. Let's take a break, and more to come with Devendra Hardawar, Abrar Al-Hiti, Ian Thompson. You guys are great. It's always nice to do a show with people. We could just hang out and talk and
that's part of the fun of the show.
Forget the tech news because it's so terrible. More to come in just a little bit. Stay right here. Our show today brought to you by Storyblock. Now, I love this. If you've ever worked in a big company, you know that oftentimes you get a legacy content management system that's just a nightmare. They promise enterprise-grade features, but what you really get is a slow, clunky system that needs developer support for even the smallest update. And if you're trying to move fast, file fast, put up those marketing campaigns fast, that's just a nightmare. Well, Storyblock changes all of that. First of all, unlike those monolithic CMSs, Storyblock is headless. It completely decouples your back end from your front end. It's how we did our Twit website and workflow. We decided to run the back end independently with a great API, which means the front end can be anything you want. Developers with Storyblock can build in any framework they want, React or Astro or Vue. You still get this incredible CMS that people love. Marketers can use an intuitive visual editor to create and update content without filing dev tickets. And Storyblock scales. It's built to scale. Whether you're a freelancer or a part of a global enterprise, they have a global CDN, AWS data centers in the US, Europe, and Asia. It is really built for performance at scale. Totally enterprise ready. They've got features enterprise requires like role-based access control, SLAs, enterprise-grade SLAs. They've got top-tier security, all the things Fortune 500s want. One global e-commerce giant switched to Storyblock and cut content update cycles from weeks to hours. Another major brand empowered marketing to launch campaigns completely independently, freeing up developers for bigger projects. I just think this is the right way to go. The API first approach is absolutely brilliant. Storyblock's API first approach means your content loads fast anywhere in the world. It means better UX. It means higher engagement, improved SEO. With their real-time visual editor, marketers will see exactly what their content's going to look like before publishing. No more endless back and forth saying, can you move that over a pixel, up a pixel? No, you don't. You get to do exactly what you want and see exactly how it's going to look, which means developers, you don't get as many interruptions. Marketers, you have more autonomy. It's a win all around. Ooh, and if you're an agency, you got to love this. Storyblock offers multi-client workspaces, flexible permissions, so clients can have different permissions, right? Seamless collaboration tools. You can manage multiple projects without disrupting development workflows. It's built for that. So whether you're a startup, an enterprise, or maybe you're an agency juggling multiple clients, Storyblock gives you the power and the flexibility you require. Try it today at storyblock.com/TwitTV-25 and use the code TWIT25. Twit listeners get 20% off for 3 months on Growth and Growth Plus plans. That's storyblock.com/TwitTV-25 and the offer code TWIT25 for 20% off the first 3 months on Growth and Growth Plus plans. STORYBLOK.com/TWITTV-25 and the offer code TWIT25. You got to try it today. I think you will love it. And you know what? Everybody in your business will love it too. Storyblock.com/TWITTV-25. Thank you, Storyblock. Thank you, Storyblock. A YouTuber has leaked iOS secrets. This is from the Register. via friend spying on a developer's phone. This is Apple's lawsuit against John Prosser, who is a very well-known iOS leaker and YouTuber. Apple is suing him. Usually Apple doesn't go so far as to sue leakers, but they say he leaked iOS 26 information ahead of WWDC in June. They also sued another individual, Michael Ramaciotti, in Northern California District Court. This was earlier this week, accusing them of misappropriating trade secrets and a violation of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Oh, that's throwing the book at them. For conspiring to break into a development iPhone in the possession of an Apple employee. Oh, that's pretty bad.
Well, they've done this before in 2019 when, there was a prototype that was leaked out. Was it 2019? It was one of the things that Silicon Valley.
It sounds like they hacked. So Ethan Lipnick, who worked at Apple as a software engineer on the Photos team, according to the suit, Ramaciotti was in need of money, had a friend that worked at Apple. Prosser allegedly offered to pay Ramaciotti to break into the Apple employee's development phone to show Prosser what version of iOS running on the device looked like. Okay. That's extreme. That's a little that is not good journalistic practice, is it, Devendra?
No.
You wouldn't allow...
No. Crime's bad.
Crime bad.
Paying sources.
Paying criminals.
Commit crimes. Real bad.
Real bad.
All those things. Not so good.
Ramaciotti, who stayed at the Apple employee's home, allegedly used location tracking software to determine when Lipnick was far enough from home to be gone for an extended period, then obtained the passcode and accessed the device, made a video call to Prosser, and showed iOS in the development phone. Oh man! If they can now, if they can prove that, I think Apple's got a case. Apple does not normally sue leakers.
That breaks total journalistic ethics. I mean, Abra, I read your review of the Galaxy Z's Fold 7. If somebody had offered you that, ahead of time from a stolen phone, I'm pretty sure you'd have told them where to get off.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's not what we do.
You don't pay people to break confidentiality ever, right?
No.
Yes.
You might leakers might approach you and volunteer that information, and you would accept it in that case. But you would never proffer money to somebody. Say, could you give me that information? Apparently, there is a oh my God! Apple learned the details of the incident from an audio recording sent to the Apple employee by Ramaciotti admitting to the crime. Lipnick provided the recording to Apple after it was notified by an anonymous individual who had seen the leaked content and recognized Lipnick's apartment in the background of the call.
Gosh.
This is pretty ham-fisted.
Well, and, Apple employees are already so scared of getting in trouble over accidentally leaking anything. And this is just a nightmare.
Lipnick was fired. He wasn't sued, but he was fired because he hadn't properly secured his development device.
See, that's wild.
That sucks.
He would be penalized for that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know the details enough to.
It's
Prosser denies Apple's allegations. He posted on X, I deny it. But man, usually, Prosser, to my knowledge, has not been prosecuted by Apple, although he has many, many, many leaks.
You've got to be very careful who you accept leaked information from and what their motivations are. And it's the code we live by. Yeah. And this case was just really scummy in so many ways. Yeah. It's not something a legitimate journo would have got involved with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we'll watch this case because Prosser says, no, that's not how it happened.
Yeah, we'll see what other evidence they uncover.
Yeah. In fact, he says he has evidence to prove he was unaware of how the data was obtained. Maybe it's a recording of him saying, I do not know how you got this information.
Shocked I am.
I think it's pretty well known by people like Prosser who do leaks what is allowed and what is not allowed. But to be fair, I don't think he works for a publication. He's
right.
He's kind of on his own.
Right.
So
It's that murky territory.
Maybe he hasn't been well trained in the ins and outs.
Well, it's one of those things. It's kind of like the Wall Street Journal story a couple of days ago about Trump doing this picture. There's no way you would publish that as a legitimate news organization and not have evidence and everything backed up, checked by lawyers.
I think the Wall Street Journal probably can defend itself. But this is the problem with the way things work these days. I mean, CBS could have easily defended itself in the 60 Minutes case. There was no case there. But
there are political questions to be added into this.
Yeah. So did you like the Galaxy Z Fold 7?
I did. I have it here too.
Ooh, let's see. Ooh, it's really thin. Look how thin that is.
I'll open it up for you and you can see how thin it is. And then I also have the iPhone 16 Pro Max to show you.
It's actually thinner.
Comparison, when open, it's a lot. Ooh, I'm trying to get the right angle there. There we go. You can see how thin it is when open.
Wow.
And then I'll show you closed. It's still
it's even closed, it's thinner.
Still, so this is the Fold is 8.9 millimeters thick when closed, and the iPhone is 8.25, I think, millimeters. I cannot get the angle. There we go. Reverse.
Wow.
So I liked it. It's very expensive. It's $2,000. So pocket change.
But those folds have always been around that, right?
They've always been expensive. The last fold was $1,900, and the one before that was $1,800. So they're on this kick of like, let's bump up the price by $100 every year. But it's super thin. So a couple months ago, Samsung released the S25 Edge, which was their first super thin phone. That phone was $1,100, and it was kind of like the S25 Edge walked so that hopefully the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will run. But yeah, thin as in. A lot of companies are doing this.
Well, it's rumored that Apple is going to release the iPhone Slim this year in preparation for a folding phone next year, just like Samsung did.
That's the way you do it, because you don't want this weird, clunky, chunky device. Right. And then the other big thing here too is like the cover screen actually feels normal. So like when it's
like a regular phone.
It feels like a regular phone versus the previous versions of the Fold. You could tell it was a compromise to like use the cover screen. So yeah, I think it totally makes sense for Apple to release a thinner phone, standard iPhone this year, and then hopefully a foldable one the next year.
Do you miss the S Pen?
I've never been an S Pen user. I've never actually personally owned a Note device, so I've never become reliant on one. So I'm okay without it, and it's a compromise, right? Like, would you rather have an S Pen or would you rather have a chunky device? And I think I'd rather.
That's what they gave up. Although, so they didn't actually give up battery. It's the same size battery as last year.
That's what's most impressive to me. I was ready for the battery to be worse.
Right.
On the S25 Edge, it's 3,900 milliamp hours, which is pathetic. But this one keeps that 4,400. So it's great to still have a day and a half of battery and not have to worry about it
that much.
Yeah, that's for me how long it lasted.
Nice.
And, I definitely have a lot of screen time, so it's high praise, I think.
How about the crease?
Not too bad either. It's actually not crazy noticeable, especially when you're actually watching something or doing something on here. If you're out in sunlight, creases are always a bit more obvious, but this has a 2600 nit display, so it's still nice and bright to kind of thwart a bit of that. So definitely not even something I was even thinking about. Yeah.
Devinder, have you had a chance to play with this?
I've not had a chance to play with it, but it does make me think like, how will Apple catch up to this, right? Because Samsung is 7 generations in now.
Yeah, well, one way is by buying the screen from Samsung.
Exactly.
Well, you buy it, but it's also like, how do you build for it? Because Apple historically has not done a great job of like turning iPad OS into something that I think feels good for multitasking. Right. So it's like even just rethinking how you build this.
Yes.
How does iOS move from the outside screen to the inside screen? Apple has a lot of catching up to do. My colleague Sam Rutherford pointed out that Google did a good job of catching up within 2 pixel folds. So it is possible to like move quickly, but I kind of want a foldable, but I don't want to go to Android. So it's like, I hope Apple figures this out soon.
Yeah.
It's not going to be for everybody, but I'm at the point where I'm like watching more video content on my phone just because I'm like tired after running around with the kids all day, and I'm on my bed and I just need to watch something. So I see the value of something like this, and I could see Apple definitely like following with the same stuff Samsung's doing.
that's the big thing, right? A lot of people are like, I would love a foldable, but I don't want to leave the Apple ecosystem. So you're definitely not alone in that. And I definitely was watching a video in bed the other day with the, half open. So you can kind of just prop it up like a little mini laptop. And then the other thing too is cameras. So this has a 200 megapixel main camera, which is insane.
What?
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good.
It's wild. So you're taking pictures on this and it looks like pictures that you would take on the Ultra, and the Ultra is chunkier. So if Apple can also figure out how to maintain its, high-end cameras like it has on the Pro models on a foldable, then that'd be really cool too.
It must be, 200 megapixels, it must be binning them or something. I mean, it's not
exactly.
Okay.
Right. And it just essentially aligns with, it's the ultra grade cameras on a foldable, which is still pretty impressive because foldables typically aren't able to have that type of, those sensors on that.
Especially that thin.
Especially on that, thin, exactly. Because the S25 Edge also, it kind of broke the mold there and also had that 200 megapixel camera. So they figured they could do it on that thin phone. Why not do it on this thin phone too?
Look at that image.
That's
wow.
The Morgan Library in New York is gorgeous.
Boy, is that pretty. Yeah.
I do have one practical question on it though, because if I'm spending $2,000 on a camera, I want a case to protect it, and I don't see how this works with a foldable.
So there are cases for this. I refuse to put one on. Yes, there are, and they're actually pretty sleek. It doesn't add a lot of bulk to it. I've held it with I've held the phone with a case on it, and it is pretty nice and sleek. It's not going to be like your bulky OtterBox, type where you feel like you could toss it on concrete and you'll be fine. But there are options for that, and thankfully they don't add too much heft to it.
I did get a case for my old Fold.
Yeah.
But it's just like a panel on the back and a panel on the front.
That's
it's not, it doesn't surround the whole thing.
Exactly.
This is I'm a clumsy bugger and I drop my phone an awful lot. And so I like a good hardcore case around something, particularly when it's that price. So
I think what's really interesting is that it isn't, the closed, it's still like a regular phone.
Exactly.
So you're not sacrificed. You don't have this chunk of wunk in your hand.
100%.
You have a normal aspect ratio front screen, but you have available to you. How does the software work on the folding thing?
Pretty well. There were a couple instances where Instagram and TikTok videos were weirdly cropped, but mostly it works well. You can also open up to 3 apps for multitasking, which is really great. So that feels pretty cool to use. But yeah, most of the apps that I used were well formatted with a couple hiccups here and there.
I'm very impressed by the low light photos, the nighttime photos you were able to take. This is a good camera.
It is a very good camera. And obviously they're touting how much AI plays a role there and reducing noise and making everything look better. But yeah, you could still see the textures and, no crazy shadows. So pretty impressive.
It's great. So you took the people. This is the Morgan Library. You didn't want those people in there, so whoop, they're gone. That's pretty good.
It's really good. I mean, Apple's cleanup tool is long overdue, but it does not compare at all to what Samsung can do with generative edit. The one caveat is when you use generative edit, you'll see that label in the bottom left corner that says AI generated content, which is kind of obnoxious.
Oh, that's not you that put that there? That bug?
The Samsung.
Oh, I don't like that.
I would crop that out, Thankfully, you can move that up a bit. And
I guess they're sensitive to this whole thing.
I know, but yeah,
I kind of feeling it's a good idea that we have those labels in there so that we know.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. But yeah, full transparency. If I did ever post something, I'd definitely crop that out.
I'd probably do the same myself, to be honest.
Yeah, because you don't know how much was AI generated. In this case, you just took the people out. That's nothing.
Are gone.
No, you just go to Photoshop, box it, and generative edit that out.
Photoshop. Exactly. It's what Photoshop's been doing for years, and so
so it sounds, you gave it 8.5 out of 10. That's a pretty good score. Yes.
It is. Yeah.
Is this the best fold? This is the best fold they've ever made, obviously.
Definitely, without a doubt, in my opinion. It definitely, like you said, feels like a normal phone. When it's closed, you have the advantage of an open phone, and you don't need to use the inside screen, but it's nice to have, which is great.
It's still, I'm half Scots and I'm half Yorkshire, so the idea of paying $2,000 for a phone is
a lot for a phone.
It's ridiculous. Carrier deals, I guess that's the way you do it.
True, yeah.
Otherwise, there's no way. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't mind paying that much. You pay that much for a laptop. It's a lot to pay for something that's fragile and easily lost,
and that you're going to replace in 2 years.
Yeah.
If that's what you choose to do. Yeah.
Yeah. How long did they continue doing security support?
7 years of software and OS updates.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
That's really good. And you're an Android user, right, Ian?
Yeah. I've been on Pixel and Nexus before that.
Yeah.
Simply because I get security updates as soon as they come out. Google were lacking on that. They've since come up, I think, under pressure from Samsung, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Apple, there's a lot of pressure on Apple to respond. Apple has historically said we're not going to do folding phones, but the rumor is very strong that they're going to do that next year. Not for the 2025 iPhone 17, but for the 18 or whatever they call it, the 20th anniversary.
Yeah. I fully expect Apple to do something. They're going to do their slightly different spin on this. Like a direct competitor to the Fold would be nice, but also a lot of people are thinking, like, what would an iPad mini be like, if you could essentially fold that in half? Maybe that's what the phone looks like. I don't think anybody is doing like a 10 or 11 inch foldable tablet right now. And that was always the promise of the stuff like the Microsoft Courier, which we've dreamed about for over a decade now. And even Microsoft like killed their own Surface, tablet folding project. Was it the Neo or the Neo that they fully killed? So nobody is doing a good job at that right now. I could see Apple like coming in and iPadifying a good fold.
I liked the Neo. I returned it, but
well, that was a Duo. You had the
Duo. I had the Duo, not the Neo.
The Neo was the Windows device.
They never released the Neo.
Really cool that they never released. Yeah.
I liked the Duo, but as I said, I returned it because the software wasn't ready for it. There was nothing that understood quite what was going on.
Yep.
It does seem like they've got the screen fold sorted now, because that was my big problem with foldables earlier, was that you're going to get a crease down the center. And it seems like the technology is now there. Does that match up?
Yeah, I think marrying the having the decent software and the decent hardware and the creases have gotten a lot less noticeable.
The rumor is Apple has arranged to buy a new screen technology from Samsung that is creaseless.
Mm-hmm.
I'll believe
how you do that.
Yeah.
My complaint really about all the foldables, and I had the several folds, and I have the last year's Flip still, is not so much the crease, but the texture. Because in order to make these screens foldable, they're not glass.
Right.
It's
yes.
plasticky.
They're a bit more
It
plastic.
feels a little rubbery, plasticky, and I don't like that as much. That's my biggest complaint. I like glass. I don't use a screen protector either.
Yeah.
Apple has to invent bending glass now. Can they do it?
Of course they can. Once. You can bend it once.
All glass bends.
Yeah.
And this is kind of why I like the Duo, and I tested it out for a couple
like
of
the
weeks.
hinge
and
idea.
It's kind of like, it's like I don't have to worry about the screen breaking. I can just use it as you use it.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Samsung one is $2,000, how much is the Apple one going to be?
Oh, it's going to be. And, well, don't forget tariffs, right?
Yeah.
It's unclear yet what will happen this fall with Apple's pricing, but if the tariffs continue, it's going to have to be a big jump.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since Apple's, upped the prices on its phones to begin with. So,
and they're not allowed to say it's a tariff increase.
No.
That apparently is.
Companies really don't like doing that.
That is verboten.
Yeah.
So,
it's just a value-added product. Which
I do notice prices are going up. I was at Costco yesterday, and everything's a little bit, $1 or $2 more, just bit by bit. They're inching up.
I mean, we had a big problem with Apple because we instituted the phrase the Cupertino idiot tax, and I have had so many Apple PRs.
I am a Cupertino idiot, and I resemble that remark. Resent it. That's what I do. I resent it. Are you going to buy the Commodore 64? It's back.
I really want one. I'm sorry.
I'm not of the generation, but if you're of the generation, which you guys all are, that might have been your first computer or a computer of lust and desire. When it came out in, what was it, 1994? No, must have been more older than that.
It was less big in the US, maybe.
Yeah,
you see, I grew up with the Sinclair ZX81, and then the Commodore was a lust object. It was just like, at last, a proper keyboard, decent processor, and there's software to run on it. So I'm really, really tempted by this.
It's clear, apparently. I don't know if that is that the picture.
It was more early 80s, that Commodore, so it was way.
Yeah, you're right. Commodore was defunct by 94.
Yes.
That's when they went out of business.
So for me, my first computer was a Packard Bell. Remember Packard Bell?
Oh, my God.
Oh, bless.
Adorable. Yeah.
Terrible computers.
Terrible computers.
They're PC clones. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, there's people of a certain age. So let's see, if it was the 80s, that means if you were born in 75, maybe, it would be something that you would say, "Oh yeah, I gotta have."
I had friends who had these, but I had an
50
XT,
now.
but I had friends who had these.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
you
had
see,
them
I
in my
mean,
schools.
we had a Sinclair ZX81 and then a BBC Model B, and then Commodore was a thing to lust after. So it was because Apple wasn't that big in the UK.
Right. Well, this was a lot less expensive than an Apple II as well.
Yeah, I mean,
was cheap.
Douglas Adams, I think, was the first or second person to get an Apple in the UK, and that's because he made an awful lot of money out of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So, you know.
So there's a $300 beige version that is exactly the spitting image of the original one.
That's the 101.
Yeah. Yeah. But you can pay more if you want and get the slightly more expensive Starlight version, which is the clear one.
That looks cool.
Yeah. Or there's apparently a gold version.
Oh, for goodness sake. Is this a Trump version? Or
The Trump version. Let's see. There's Starlight, which is clear. That is $350. There's a $500 Ultimate Founders Edition in solid gold plastic.
solid gold plastic. What a
Yeah.
wonderful phrase.
Yum, yum. That's hysterical.
What I remember about Commodores is that they had more games than I had access to, right?
Yeah,
there were more
I
games on
didn't
Commodore.
realize this.
Yeah.
2,000, something like 2,000 games available for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were the ultimate gaming PCs of their time.
They were all crappy
It
games.
was pre-console.
Oh,
this is
come on.
pre-console.
I was going to say, this was the 1980s. Of course they were crappy games.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
it's-
I
No,
still
they were the
love
only
my
game,
Atari
only video games that
2600,
existed. They were
so
amazing.
That's
Yeah.
all you could do, right?
Exactly. I mean, it was 10 years since after that Doom came out and really, upset the whole gaming industry. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, and you also get Commodore Basic in there, so brush up your skills and learn how to program. That's hysterical.
Well, that was
All
the
right,
thing with
kids.
Oh, sorry.
That's it. You're done. I release you. Thank you so much to our wonderful panel. I love getting together with you guys. Abrar Al-Hidi appears monthly on Tech News Weekly and, of course, is a regular at CNET, where she is a senior technology reporter. Anything besides your Galaxy Fold review, anything else you want to mention that you're up to these days?
Lots of phone stuff, lots of self-driving stuff, accessibility stuff when I can work it into. But yeah, just the usual.
Oh, so your Waymo rides are tax deductible.
I would like to think so. That'd be
I think
great.
they sound like they're expensed even.
Yeah,
You should-
let them
you know
pay
what? I
for
should
it.
Start thinking a little smarter about that. You're right.
It's so great to see you. Thank you, Abrar. I really
Likewise.
appreciate your
Thanks
spending
for
this
having me.
this Sunday evening with us. Same to you, to my good friend Devendra Hardawar, senior editor at Engadget. Spending your vacation time with us, even more amazing.
This is Hangout. I don't get to hang out with actual adults anymore. So
Yeah, how's the kid?
the kids are great. My
Kids,
son is 3. My daughter is 6 and
my
a half at
God.
this point. So
My
my son is like a little 3-year-old terror. So we're just dealing with him. Basically.
It's a good time. It's a really good time these ages. You'd enjoy it. You'll look back
Oh, yeah.
on it. I wish I could. Now my kids are adults and I don't like them. I wish I could go back. No, I love them. But
You love you love your son's YouTube channel. This is
I love them both. They're both great, and it's amazing. They're in their 30s, but you'll never forget that time when they're little. It's just so special.
trying to enjoy it, but yeah, it is tough juggling everything else going.
Well, you know what you forget, and when you get to my age and their age, is how hard it is.
It's so
You
yeah.
all you have is these nice memories. You forget you were working. Like, it was really hard. So anyway, do remember as much of it as you can. Yeah,
I'm trying taking photos.
Yeah.
Every year I try to upgrade my phone just to be better at taking kid photos.
Nice.
Basically,
And Brar Al-Hidi, next Eid, I've got a gift for you. I got a gift
Oh my
for
God,
you.
yes.
Yeah,
That is the ultimate money right there.
I want to fold it and tear it apart, but it would damage it somehow. I gotta.
No, you
I
just got to frame it. I'm
gotta
telling you.
frame it.
Yep.
Wow. It's funny. I found it in a book. Like I was flipping through an old book and there it fell out. I was like, what the hell? Where did
that's
Well, I
the
guess
antiques equivalent of an
surprise.
attic find. Yes.
the only thing that is, I'm a little worried about the provenance of this. That's definitely Woz's autograph. I recognize it.
Very cool.
But that to Henry looks like it's in my son's handwriting. So now I'm a little worried that maybe Henry found it, inscribed it to Henry.
That's really funny.
I'm going to have to ask him. That's a little puzzling.
Kudos.
Thank you so much, all three of you. Of course, it's always a pleasure to have my friend from the Register on. He's teaching us wonderful English swear words. Ian Thompson, theregister.com. What are you working on these days? Anything exciting?
I've been spending a lot of the weekend, actually. I did some interviews with the EFF, who are facing their 35th anniversary. So I've
happy anniversary. I love the EFF. I'm a donor and a proud supporter of them.
It's weird to think that one of the founder members of the Grateful Dead formed this marvelous organization, but I will
John Perry Barlow. Yes.
Yep. I will have a feature out by the end of the week.
The late John Perry Barlow.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He was a great guy. I really had a huge admiration for him and for everything the EFF does. And of course, Cory Doctorow works with them. A lot of great people work with them doing their most important work. Thank you all for being here. Thanks especially to our Club Twit members. You do a very important thing. You keep us afloat. 25% of our operating costs are covered by club members. Please, if you've thought about this, but you're not yet a member, $10 a month. You get ad-free versions of all the shows, so you never hear this plug or any other ads. You get special access to the Club Twit Discord, which is a wonderful place to hang out. Lots of great information and fun stuff in there. And that means you get also special access to all the special shows we do. Let me see what we've got coming up. We record shows in the club. Oh, that's right. Thursday, Richard Campbell got his RAM, so we're going to do a live PC build with the Windows Weekly host, Richard Campbell. That'll be a lot of fun. I'll be kibitzing while Richard holds the screwdriver. We record Home Theater Geeks. You can get the audio of that. Everybody gets the audio of that. But if you want the video, you need to be a club member. The first Friday of the month, August 1st, the AI user group. That's been a lot of fun. And Stacy's Book Club is coming up August 8th. We've got the photo time. Our word of the month is classic. Go out there and take some pictures. We're going to do the Google reveal of the new Pixel phone on August 20th. Those are in the club only as well. So club events are a big part of the reason people join. Access to the Discord, ad-free versions of all the shows. But the most important part from my point of view is that the club makes it possible for us to keep doing what we're doing and do more of it. If you like what you hear on our shows, please join the club. It's very important. Twit.tv/clubtwit. And thanks in advance. We do This Week in Tech every Sunday evening, 2 to 5 p.m. Pacific, 5 to 8 p.m. Eastern, 2100 UTC. You can watch us live. If you're in the club, of course, you can watch in the Discord, but everybody can watch live on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, X.com, and Kick. We stream on all those platforms. You don't have to watch live. Of course, after the fact, you can get the show, download audio or video from our website, twit.tv. There's a YouTube channel with a video. Great way to share little clips if you want to do that. We appreciate that. But the best way to get it, as with all our shows, is subscribe in your favorite podcast player. As they say, wherever you get your podcasts, you can get the audio or video and you'll get it automatically every week, no charge. That way you can listen to it at your leisure on Monday morning or whenever you're in the mood for it. And if you do that, leave us a nice review, if you would. A 5-star review would be also very, very helpful. Thanks, Abrar. Thanks, Ian. Thanks, Devindra. Thanks to all of you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Another Twit is in the can. Bye-bye.
This is amazing.